The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Sonley, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Caron.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Caron.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
Dave McGoplin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former Chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Caron.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former Chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Sonley, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are your Monday night footballing fix, and tonight we are taking great pleasure in saying, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man, and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions. Why? Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And of course, the pitch is where we talk. After a week's hiatus, hope you didn't miss us too much. But we did have to take, your Monday Night Footballing Fix did have to take a bank holiday break. For those who got to Notting Hill Carnival, hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Them bright lights and anyway. Leaving that aside, it was one of them ones. It was a lot of fun. But we are back and we are live here at youtube.com/pitch talk. And also, if you're listening to us via podcast as well, iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and TuneIn Radio. Give us a rating, give us a review, spread the word, share the links. Seen the show, buy the shirt. Heard the show, seen the show, spread the word, spread the word. One of them was, it all helps. If you give us a rating, a comment, a review, it all helps on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and TuneIn Radio. That's where we host our podcast. And of course, right now, live on youtube.com/pitch talk as well. www.pitch-talk.com is the official website where you can find out about everything Pitch Talk. That is the official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Facebook.com/pitch talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution we are working so hard to create. Also, pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to the blogs by yours truly, straight shooting LJA, the G-Man, Jazzy Fizzle, and many others, including Dave Meir, aka at Mearcy's. word of a referee, and also his Airtricity League round-ups as well. One of them ones, so much more. Also, youtube.com/pitch talk. That is where you can find all of our latest videos, including Pitch Talk on the road at Hackney Wick FC. Last month, July 11th to be perfectly exact, we were at their first ever match. Actually, that was almost a month and a half ago now. It's one of them was we were at their first ever match. So a brand new club, Hackney Wick FC, and we were at their first ever match. Also, youtube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can find Pitch Talk at the Women's FA Cup Final 2015, SSE Women's FA Cup Final. We had a lot of fun there, pre-match and post-match, and at the match as well. You can see a roundup of what we got up to and what we saw on youtube.com/Pitch Talk. Also coming soon to youtube.com/Pitch Talk is Pitch Talk Meets Deryll David, the brand new installment of the Pitch Talk Meets interview series. That is in post-production. That will be coming soon. As said before, we would like to thank all of the PT family who sent in questions. And also, we'd like to thank Mr. Deryll David, who is actually on the Skype call with us tonight as well. We're going to hear a lot of the Skypers' views as we go through the show, as per usual as well. It's one of them on twitter.com/Pitch Talk or at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. We are Pitch Talk live on Google Plus as well. Remember the mobile number, it's on. The mobile number is 07535804466. That's 07535804466. Call us, text us, let us know your views on the talking points that we are going through. Also, if you do text in, please leave your name at the end of the text so we can give you a shout out, because that's what we're all about. It is we the people for the people, not just now, but that is for life, in the words of the WCW group, the NWO, baby. But it is one of them ones where we are live. The G-Man sends his regards. He'll be along a bit later. He should be along a little bit later. We've got Jezzy Fizzle in the house as well. We want to give a big time shout out to Ibis FC and also BB Eagles AFC as well. The merger is pretty much done. It is pretty much done. Just hammering out last little things as well. Big shout outs to both clubs who have now come together to form the Ibis Eagles. More information on that later. We've got some exclusive interview audio as well from Saturday, because Saturday was somewhat of a momentous occasion for Ibis Football Club and also for Old Meadonians as well. But more on that in the grassroots segment later on in the show. But first and foremost, I want to ask, Jezzy Fizzle, how's your weekend been?
Yeah, man, been good. You know what I mean? I have to say, like, love the family, man. It's all about the family. And it's great being able to spend time with them. As I said on Facebook, you know, I was watching White Fang with the old lady, and ain't nothing like it, man. Nothing beats that. Yeah. Nothing beats that whatsoever. But you know what? I have to say, the shout out to the frenemies. Yeah, because without you, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Shout out to my friends, because without you, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Shout out to my family, as I said. Shout out to my familia as well. You know what I mean? Nothing but love. Shout out to the next wife. Love you, baby. Shout out to my ex-wife, because without her, wouldn't be where I'm at. Love you too. And shout out to my future kids, man. Daddy loves you. And of course to our friends across the pond. My good friend Cherry, she's locked on over there in Florida. And of course our good friends Daniela and Gurav over in Canada. But yeah, as I say, weekend was good. It's good to see England get a win as well. We'll come on to that a little bit later. And of course, you know, I have to say, feel blessed right now. So you know what? It's a shout out to my good friend Mab as well. Say God first, God bless to everyone. And thank you all so much for being a part of the Footballing Revolution that we're working hard to create. Thank you for watching all the videos, especially the one featuring me down on Wembley Way for the Women's FA Cup final, as sponsored by SSE Energy, also featuring Girls on the Ball, sans Scotty the Rabbit, which I was quite upset about. But you know what? Straight shooting one. How was your weekend, man?
Fantastic, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It's been one of them ones. I mean, with Ibis, I couldn't play this weekend. Couldn't play this weekend, but I got down did some filming on behalf of Pitch Talk as well. Big shout outs to Ollie Woodin, Alex Minshaw, aka Minch, and also Jonathan Lease as well. And a big shout outs to some of the other BB Eagles guys, Dan as well. It was one of them ones, man. Nah, it was one of them ones. The weekend was absolutely fantastic with the Ibis and the BB Eagles lads. The only Jovino drawback was that I couldn't play, but it was one of them ones. I got to be a part of that little bit of history. But as I said, we'll go into that later in the grassroots segment. But yeah, week was good too. So yeah, man, it was one of them was out with a few work colleagues on Saturday after I was with the Ibis and BB Eagles lads as well. So yeah, it was one of them ones, man. The weekend hit a real crescendo. So it's one of them ones. It's been absolutely fantastic. Plus, hey, caught up on some football as well, which is always fun. So yeah, just very, very happy with that, man. Loving life, loving it at the moment.
I'm glad to hear that, man, because that's the way that it should be all day, every day. And thrice on a Sunday, too.
Of course, twice, thrice. It's free
Thrice.
times. It's 3 times, isn't it? Daddy. But nah, it is one of them ones where, yeah, it was good stuff. It was good stuff. Also, like to give a big shout out to a mate of mine, Summer, aka Trouble. Know you is wrong, but if you were wrong, then I don't want to be right. You want them was Ola, you know what? One thing I do when I play through, and it always reminds me. Jesse Fizzle always basically reminds me to play this whenever it's like shout outs to the future kids, because some people get in them situations where
this girl sent me this picture of a little baby. And it was in a town that I had never been in before. And she sent me this picture. She said, New Jack, this is your baby. And the baby looked like a pigeon with a spiked hairdo. I swear to God. I told her that ain't my baby. And she said, no, but you was there with me. You remember that night.
Shout out to the sports part. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Mr. JB. Yeah, maybe. Because he also knows what I'm talking about too.
Shout out to the Watkins Folly as well. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I know.
That's a throwback to like a year and a half ago, but yeah.
I know where you're going with that.
Woo! God, I love it.
I didn't know we were getting all Ric Flair up in this.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Where there was Triple H to open the show. Or Triple H.
Oh, no.
I'm going to be talking.
I'm so sorry, people.
But no, it must be said though. Big time shout outs to Motivate Sports and Fitness at MotivateSF on Twitter. Big shout outs to the Amateur FA at Amateur FA on Twitter, and also big shout outs to the Amateur FA's Youth Council at AFA Youth Council on Twitter as well. Also on Facebook, the Amateur FA Youth Council as well. We got some congratulations in store for a couple of people coming up later in the show as well, so stick around for that. But you know what? Also, a big time shout out to Girls on the Ball as well, the women's football aficionados.
Of course, Scotty the Rabbit.
Of course, who is actually, I think, now on Instagram. It's now on Instagram.
Scotty, I'm following you. Yeah?
I can't remember Scotty the Rabbit's handle, but I think it's.
I'm just like this, Scotty. You need to follow me back. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Carrots and cheese or something like that. We'll find that out. We'll get on that and find that out.
Number one fan right here.
But it is one of them ones where, yeah, big shout out to Girls on the Ball at Girls on the Ball on Twitter and www.girlsontheball.com and facebook.com/Girls on the Ball. Also, big shout outs to Thin White Line magazine. We do have an A-League roundup coming up later on in the show as well. It's one of them was at Tweet White Line on Twitter, thinwhitelinemagazine.com. Remember to pre-order their next edition. It's got Harry Kane on the front and quality material inside. What more could you want? Remember, it's one of them ones. They are selling t-shirts as well. It's one of them ones. And they've also got their podcast too. So heard their podcast, buy the shirt. It's one of them ones. Facebook.com/Thin White Line magazine as well. Big shout outs to them. Oh, excuse me. And of course, big shout outs to at Ibis_football and at BB Eagles AFC on Twitter as well. Big shouts. But you know what? It is about that time to go into the first segmente of the show, which is quite a bit of. Results and analysis. It's results and analyses. It's results and analyses. Oh yeah, dug it. Unless it's my grave, in the words of Jason Sensation, with that Macho Man Randy Savage impression. Gotta love it. Absolutely got to love it. By the way, actually, on somewhat of a more serious note, would like to give a big time rest in peace to Pete Mayers of BB Eagles AFC as well, who passed away this past week. We actually did hold a toast to him in the clubhouse after the inter-club friendly at Dukes Meadow this week, but we'll talk more about that later on. But yeah, it is one of them ones where it is time. It's Vader time. Is what I was so tempted. It's time, it's Vader time. But it is one of them ones. But yeah, also a big good luck to Gianluca Lea as well, at GianLea96. He's got a week's trial with Sky Sport Italia in October. So big shout out to him as well.
Nice one.
So, you know what? It is one of them ones where we're going to start Thursday, 3rd of September 2020.
Thursday.
It's Friday. No, it's Friday. Thursday.
He's gonna go with Rebecca Black for a minute.
Who? Oh no, not that song. Oh, that gives me as horrible flashbacks. That gives me as horrible flashbacks as that Ice J Fish guy. It's like, dude,
hey, come on now. You know he sings one of your theme songs.
What? What? I don't have.
And you know you borrowed his dance moves. Come on now.
Hey, I'm gonna kick you in the face. No, anyway, not that I encourage violence. But anyway.
Oh, it's true.
Well, I thought you were
it's darn true.
Oh Lord. All right, Kurt. King Kurt. But anyway, yeah. UEFA European Championship qualifying Group A is where we're going to start on Thursday, 3rd of September 2015. Czech Republic 2, Kazakhstan 1. On 21 minutes, Logvinenko opened the scoring on 21 minutes with Skoda scoring on 74 and 86 minutes. It's actually
not the car manufacturer. What's wrong with you?
Sorry, no, come on. It is actually spelled exactly the same way. Was it a creamy fit? Oh, good Lord. Scotland the 2-1 down. Thomas Muller has scored on 34 minutes. Thanks for that update, by the way, Russ. And Thomas Muller has scored the goal. And Mike Harniman has asked, was it a creamy finish? I'd rather a buttery biscuit base. Anyway, leaving that one aside. Holland 0, Iceland 1. Bruno Martins in the scoring on getting sent off on 33 minutes. It was really silly. It was an elbow anyway. But Gylfi Sigurdsson scored a penalty on 51 minutes. That was the only goal of the game, leaving Holland in real trouble. Turkey 1, Latvia 1. Inan opening the scoring on 77 minutes with Sabala scoring on 91 minutes. Qualifying Group B, Belgium 3, Bosnia-Herzegovina 1. Edin Dzeko opening the scoring on 15 minutes, and this goal was hilarious because at the end of the day, I'm watching this. I was watching the highlights, and I saw Edin Dzeko's goal, and it's like it was like the Belgian defense were like, here you go, have all the space, have all the time in the world for the winger to pick the cross to Edin Dzeko with a free header. It's atrocious. But Marouane Fellaini scored on 23 minutes. Kevin De Bruyne scored a quality finish on 43 minutes. And Eden Hazard scored from the penalty spot on 78 minutes. I think he was actually upended for the penalty after dancing and jinking his way into the box and just being taken out. But it is one of them when Sunčić ended up getting booked for that. But Cyprus 0, Wales 1. Oh my God. Gareth Bale scoring a fantastic header on 82 minutes. The only goal of the game. Edwards had a goal disallowed in this match. I, for the life of me, still can't see why that goal was disallowed. The commentators were saying it was for a push. Couldn't see no push. Really couldn't. If anyone can explain that to me, I will be in... I will be one of them ones. I will be grateful for an explanation, but I saw nothing wrong with that goal. Some said some see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. I saw nothing wrong with that goal, to be perfectly frank. But it's one of them ones. I'll leave that one alone. But yeah, I said it was one of them ones. But with Gareth Bale scoring, there is one thing that we might have to do. That I might can't have seen it.
I think I'm cute. You know he's not sexy. He's got the looks, just like a damn chip. He's got the moves that scare defenders. He's at Madrid, tearing up back lines. He's just a chimpy boy. Chimpy boy. He's not just Spurs toy, Madrid toy. He's just a chimpy boy. Gareth Bale, he's not just Spurs toy, Madrid toy, doing it for Wales. It's been a while since we've had to do that, but still.
Ideas.
We had to get an OWR in there somehow. It's one of them ones. But yes, he looks like a chip. He looks like a chip. Gareth Bale, he looks like a chip. Anyway, it is what it was. I think I've probably blown someone's eardrums out. So let's continue on with more results. And Pradix is like, what in the blue hell was that? That was called singing. But I don't want to say anything, but that is going to leave a mark. But that goal puts Wales within touching distance of being at Euro 2016. So it's one of them, they are close. We'll get into the permutations in a sec. Israel 4, Andorra 0. Zahavi opening scoring on 3 minutes. Bitten scoring on 22 minutes. Hemed scoring a penalty on 26 minutes. Dabor scoring on 38 minutes. Qualifying Group H, Azerbaijan 0, Croatia 0, Bulgaria 0, Norway 1. Foreign with the only goal of the game on 57 minutes. Italy 1, Malta 0. Very well taken finish actually by Graziano Pella. The only goal of the game on 69 minutes. It is one of them ones that where we shift on like Ariston to Friday, 4th of September 2015, UEFA European Championship qualifying Group D. Georgia 1, Scotland 0. Kazashvili, I hope I pronounced that right. Kazashvili scoring the only goal of the game on 37 minutes. Germany 3, Poland 1. Thomas Müller opening scoring on 12 minutes after some slick interchange in play. I'm talking slicker than whale crap on in an ice flow. But Mario Götze scoring on 19 minutes. 36 minutes, Robert Lewandowski scoring a superb header. But little Mario Götze getting another one on 82 minutes. Gibraltar 0, Republic of Ireland 4. Christie opening the scoring on 26 minutes. Robbie Keane scoring on 49 minutes. Scored again on 51 minutes from the penalty spot. And SH. Long, aka Shane Long, on 79 minutes, rounding out the goal scoring. UEFA Championship qualifying Group F. Faroe Islands 1, Northern Ireland 3. Gareth McCauley opened the scoring on 12 minutes. Edmondson equalised on 36 minutes. Got himself sent off for a second booker ball on 64. And Kyle Lafferty scored on 75 minutes. And that's an interesting view from Deryll David in terms of the Wales game. We're going to come back to that in a minute, actually. Hungary 0, Romania 0, Greece 0, Finland 1. Oh Lord, these difficult names. Pohanpalo I'm hoping I'm getting that one right. On 75 minutes with the only goal of the game for Finland on 75 minutes. Group I, Denmark 0, Albania 0, Serbia 2, Armenia 0. Oh my word, even more difficult names. What is it this week with difficult names? By the way, Republic of Ireland 0, Georgia 0 at the moment. Ireland look on top so far, but no goals after 42 minutes. That's an update from Mr. Mike Harniman of Storm FM. Thank you for that, Mike. One of the PT family. Also Northern Ireland 0, Hungary 0. Northern Ireland on top so far, but no breakthrough yet after 42 minutes. Thank you for that, Russ Vernon. In terms of Serbia, we're going to go through the permutations of the teams from the British Isles shortly. But Serbia 2, Armenia 0. Hi Rapitan scoring an own goal on 21 minutes, open the scoring, and Jacic scoring on 53 minutes to give Serbia the win. Portugal 0, France 1, a legit goal of the week contender in this game, as well as Matthew Valbuena's free kick on 85 minutes settled the game in that international friendly. Moving right on to Saturday, 5th of September 2015, European Championship qualifying. We begin in Group C. Luxembourg 1, Macedonia 0. Phil on THILL, Phil, scoring on 92 minutes and stoppage time. Ukraine 3, Belarus 1. Kravets opened the scoring for Ukraine on 7 minutes. Yarmolenko, the much coveted Yarmolenko, scoring on 30 minutes, making it 2. Konoplyanka scoring on 40 minutes. Kornilenko scored a penalty for Belarus on 62 minutes, and Garmash was sent off for a second bookable on 92 minutes. Spain 2, Slovakia 0. Jordi Alba scoring on 5 minutes. Andres Iniesta from the penalty spot scoring on 30 minutes. Group E, Estonia 1, Lithuania 0. Vasiliev scoring on 71 minutes, the only goal of the game. San Marino 0, England 6. Wayne Rooney scoring from the penalty spot on 13 minutes. Broly scoring an unlucky headed own goal on 30 minutes. Ross Barkley opening his England account probably on 46 minutes. Theo Walcott scoring on 68 minutes, doing what he can't do at club level, but he scored again on 78 minutes actually, and Harry Kane scored on 77 minutes. Harry Kane's got probably the best goal of the game out of those 6 for England actually. Switzerland 3, Slovenia 2. Novakovic scoring on 45 minutes, the opening goal, and Caesar scoring on 48 minutes, the second goal for Slovenia. But Dermot scoring on 80 minutes, Stocker on 84 minutes, and Dermot again on 94 minutes, giving Switzerland the win. Group G qualifying. Russia 1, Sweden 0. Zuba scoring the only goal of the game on 38 minutes. Austria 1, Moldova 0. Januzovic scoring on 58 minutes. Montenegro, or as I like to call them, Montes Negro, scoring on winning 2-0 against Liechtenstein. I spent a month there 1 week. Anyway, I love that line. Bekiraj scoring on 38 minutes, the opening goal, and Stefan Jovetic scoring on 56 minutes. Sticking on the internationals for now, there has been a goal in one of the matches happening tonight. Republic of Ireland 0, Georgia 0 as a half-time result, but Scotland 2, Germany 2, MacArthur scoring on 43 minutes. Nice one on that one, Russ Vernon, and also Mike Harniman, nice one on the Republic of Ireland Georgia result. Half-time, I should say. But yeah, let's stick on the international matches for now, because we've also got Sunday European Championship qualifying Group A as well. Latvia 1, Czech Republic 2. Limberski opening the scoring on 13 minutes. Darida scoring on 25 minutes. And Juzins scoring on 73 minutes. Turkey 3, Holland 0. Ozai Cup scoring on 8 minutes. Arda Turan scoring on 26. And Burak Yilmaz scoring on 85 minutes. Holland in trouble. Deep doo-doo. But it's one of them. Iceland 0, Kazakhstan 0. The only thing to really report from this is that Gunnarsson was sent off on 89 minutes after being booked on 80 minutes. Second bookable. Group B, Wales 0, Israel 0. Bosnia-Herzegovina 3, Andorra 0. Edin Dzeko scoring on 30 minutes. Lulic scoring on 45 minutes. And Bisakic scoring on 14 minutes. as well. Besic on 63 minutes was sent off, and Rodriguez Soria was sent off on 64. Cyprus 0, Belgium 1. Eden Hazard with the only goal of the game on 86 minutes. Group H, Malta 2, Azerbaijan 2. Amir Guliev scoring on 36 minutes, scoring again on 80 minutes. Mifsud, formerly of Coventry, scoring on 55 minutes, and Effiong scoring on 71 minutes. Norway 2, Croatia 0. Berget scoring on 51 minutes, the opening goal of the game, and Vedran Chorluka on 69 minutes scoring an own goal, or as me and my little brother used to call him years ago, Bredran Chorluka, because I swear when I first ever heard Vedran Chorluka's name when he was at Pompey, it was like, is his name Bredran? I'm gonna have to look into this. No, I'm not even lying. I am not even lying. You can ask my little brother. It's Bredran. I swear I thought his name was Bredran Chorluka at first. It's like, what he born by? His name is Bredran. No, I'm kidding. Put bacon into my burger. He's like, Bredran, you put bacon into my burger. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go into that reference.
No, you're not.
But Italy 1, Bulgaria 0. Daniele De Rossi on 6 minutes, scoring a penalty. He got himself sent off on 55 minutes, and Mikansky got sent off on 56 minutes. So let's take these international results for now. Jesse Fizzle, you want to jump in first before we throw it to the Skype?
Well, I'm only going to comment on 2 things. That's England's win, or let's say 3 things. England's win, Wales, and, well, their best chance at qualification, and the Netherlands' seeming decline, right? So let's go in order. England's win. Well, look, here's the whole thing about it. It was expected by the world of football. It was. And at halftime, there were a lot of people, even on the BBC Sport website, saying, well, this is a bit boring. This is a bit underwhelming. It's not really a classic performance. And then, of course, second half, England go out and score 4 more goals. There's an uproar about Wayne Rooney being taken off when he's so close to breaking the record. And then, of course, even Michael Owen happened to chime in on that, talking about, no, don't take him off. I'm like, look, the game is over.
Well, it ain't about him. It ain't just saying about Rooney.
This is the other thing, right? The game's over, right? You might as well rest him.
Yeah, you don't want him getting injured. Especially you don't, considering you support United.
Yeah, right? So it's kind of like, him being taken off was really a non-event. Right? So I don't understand all the hoopla. It's not as if, for example, he doesn't have, I don't know, like the next few years to go and take the record. You know, because barring serious injury, he does. Let's face it. Right? And you might as well go and give somebody else a little bit of time to shine. Here's the thing. Harry Kane needed his goal. Very well taken goal at that, but he needed his goal. All right? Even though Wayne Rooney hasn't been in scoring form in the Premier League, he's already been scoring goals for Manchester United. So it's not as if there's really a big lack there. But I think, you know, for Harry Kane, it was much more important. And overall, let's not forget, people, they got the result that was required. And in the end, by a canter. Right? I'm trying to figure out what else everybody else wants. Right? And this is the thing about Roy Hodgson's reign overall. Right? I'll say this. People seem to forget he's doing the main things. Right? Which is winning qualifiers.
Yeah, cool.
And getting to major tournaments. So it's like, if he's doing that, and that's really what a manager's judged on, then what is there really to complain about?
Well, it's one of them ones. People. If people want to moan about, oh yeah, England not succeeding in major tournaments, all right, that's fair enough. But that's not a new thing. So it's a case.
No, but what I'm saying is he's getting the team to the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't get there, you can't dance. It's as simple as that.
And Holland are in deep trouble. They're right. At risk of not getting there at all.
Before I get to them, I'll talk about Wales. And I also say this. Look, we're on the brink of history for Wales. Okay. So you don't want to pressure them too much.
Of course.
Yeah. You just want to help them get over the line. Right now, to what to me is essentially overreaction to the current situation. Whereas, by the way, they're still in a really good position. Of course. Just want to point that out. All right. Makes no sense to me. get behind the team, help them get over the line. Yeah, all of this criticism at a point where, as I said, they're still in a really good position makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense to me either, but the fact of the matter is a lot of football supporters just love to complain. It seems that way. Certain fans more than others, it must be said. I won't name names. None of them are here.
But you know who you are.
Yeah, none of them are here, but it's one of them ones. There are names that I could throw out. But it is a case of, like, some people love to complain. And I don't get it. But the fact of the matter is, it is just a case of we're getting through, we're getting on, and that's all you can really do. Now, the England San Marino game was dull as dishwater to watch. But at the end of, fortunately, I was in the Ibis, I was in the clubhouse after the Ibis inter-club friendly, so it was kind of like I was kind of in and out of watching it. But it's a case of, it wasn't the best game to watch. Everyone pretty much knew they were going to win. That England were going to win, but there was a funny little thing that came up actually whilst we were sinking some brewskis around the table post match, and it was like, imagine everybody in the San Marino team, instead of calling them by their surnames, you just call them by their occupations. It's like butcher to baker to candlestick maker, and accountant scores. I think that would have been funny. I personally think that would have been funny. I think it was Dan from BB Eagles who actually brought that up, and it was actually that's a pretty funny idea. So there was just find out everyone's occupations and just start calling them by that. But no, Jesse, did you want to talk about Holland as well? Because that's surprising.
I did want to talk about the Netherlands briefly and just say that their decline in international football recently has been shocking, to say the least. Right now, this is a team that has been to a couple major finals.
Yeah, in recent.
Right, it's been generally one of the prominent teams in Europe, and now they're struggling to get out the group. So it looks like there are going to be major changes ahead for the Oranje in the future. But I will say this. One of my mentors in life, he said this. He said, life is like the changing seasons. And I think what's happening now is we're coming to a point where this team, that international team, needs to be dismantled and rebuilt. As Noah said, destroy and rebuild. Yeah, and that's what needs to happen. So I think we'll see a complete clear out, not just of the current crop of players, or the majority of the current crop of players, but of the coaching staff as well. And I think you'll see over the next maybe 8 years or so, Holland come back to prominence. But for right now, I think they're on the way out.
It's what them ones, they got to buck up their ideas. Getting turned over 3-0 by Turkey is like, oh. But you look at their team, you look at their, especially their starting 11, it's not that great in terms of talent. There's a couple of individuals who you think, can do something. Like, say, a Robin Van Persie or Arjen Robben. Apart from that, there's not a great dearth of talent anymore.
And maybe that's part of the problem. Or maybe what needs to happen is, they need to essentially do what Spain have done, what Germany have done, and look to the under-21s, under-18, so on and so forth. Get those groups of players that have been playing together for some time, start to integrate them a lot more. Now, I know that generally speaking, the Dutch national team usually has, a handful of youngsters sprinkled throughout the squad anyway. That's what they're known for. But I think now it's about a consolidation of those youngsters. If you go back a couple of years, you had a great nucleus group of the likes of Nigel de Jong, Wesley Sneijder, Rafael van der Vaart. I'm pretty sure there's a couple other players that are missing from the great Ajax sides at that time. Ryan Babel's one of them as well. But the point I'm making is, as I say, we need to consolidate if you're a Oranje fan and really just start to rebuild, because right now what's happening isn't working. Okay, so there was the departure from the 4-3-3 to a 3-5-2 for the World Cup, which seemed to work really well. And then there was a reversion, and I think maybe the reversion hurts. I think there has to be a decision on exactly what system will be played. I think that needs to be made. And then, of course, it's about personnel. So you're looking at who has the hunger, who has the desire, and getting the right blend of characters and talent, not just talent, but characters as well, personalities as well, and seeing where that group goes. And that's just not on the playing field, that's also in the back room as well.
I hear that. I mean, I said that the Holland, the Netherlands kind of decline. It is very much a sad decline. It is sad to see, but they were always similar to Spain before they won the World Cup. It was a case of they were always the great underachievers. And again, Holland, you look at the talent they had in the mid-90s, in the mid to late 90s and early 90s, it was like, how did you not win anything?
Yeah.
So you look at that as well. So,
but then we said the same thing about Spain in the same time period.
Yeah.
But literally same time period, said the same thing.
Yeah, but then they ended up changing it up, and look how well they did. So it's all is not lost. I'll put it that way. In terms of England, it's a case of, at least we're doing what we're doing. And during PT Meets Deryll David, actually, we did discuss about England's future and how that can be potentially changed and altering the course of the future. But you'll have to wait for Pitch Talk Meets Deryll David to be released before we can see that debate. But it is one of them ones. Holland in real trouble. Wales, hey, more power to them. If they can get to a major tournament, it'd be fantastic for them. I said the kind of the permutations. There are a lot of different kind of permutations that can happen. So we might as well actually go through that now. In all honesty, the permutations and what certain teams need to be able to get through in terms of the teams from the British Isles. So basically, obviously England became the first nation to join host France at Euro 2016. Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland are all still within a chance. Wales played 18 points. They were 1 point ahead of Belgium, 5 clear of Israel. Now, basically, after they were held to the goalless draw at home to Israel, and Belgium beat Cyprus, they need a point from their last 2 Group B games against Bosnia-Herzegovina away and Andorra at home. So they need that to go through. Scotland, who were in 4th, played 7 points 11. They're 1 point behind third place Republic of Ireland. Now, Scotland, basically against Germany, especially tonight, they literally need a win. They need a win just to stay in touch with the World Cup winners, second place Poland and third place Republic of Ireland, who are a point ahead of them. So Republic of Ireland in Group B, one of them was Republic of Ireland, a group of third, played 7 points 12. They're 4 points behind the leaders Germany and 2 off second place Poland and 1 ahead of Scotland. So basically, Georgia at home, essentially they need a win to keep them on course for a playoff spot. That's pretty much as simple as that. England already through, 6 points clear of second place Switzerland. We're already through. Northern Ireland, they're top, played 16 points, 1 point ahead of Romania, 4 clear of third place Hungary, and their next fixture is actually against Hungary. Now, if they beat Hungary, which is going on tonight, if they win that game, then they qualify. So it is one of them ones, they qualify. Pretty much as simple as that. It's cut and dry as that. But you know, I want to come back. Want to come back actually to the Wales result. And Deryll David, you had a very interesting kind of perspective. Obviously, you being a referee as well. There's a very interesting perspective on the I think it's Gareth Edwards disallowed goal for Wales. In that 1-0 win, which Gareth Bale scored the winner in. Did you see something that maybe we didn't in the euphoria of kind of thinking, yeah, Wales are going to finally get to a tournament?
Well, obviously, like everybody, I hope Wales get into the Euros, because I think it's a good thing for Britain as a whole, but as well as that for Wales. But I mean, especially on the Edwards goal. I mean, I'm watching it now as we speak, and as the ball's delivered in, what it looks like is that the other guy doesn't look like Edwards. The other guy has just gone careening into him. into the back of him, which has caused him to miss the header, which has given Edwards the chance to score. So that's what I think the referee's given the foul. And I think he's actually correct on that. And what's very interesting about the clip was that as he gives the foul, the additional assistant referee who's on the touchline walks towards the penalty, the 60-yard box, which is very interesting because you don't see them hardly do anything. And for him to make such a speedy walk over there suggests that he's seen something as well as the referee. So that's my opinion on that.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting you bring up the
and you know what? Thank you very much for sharing that opinion. Really value that. I think it's a very interesting perspective having that from a fellow official, shall we say?
No, definitely, especially in regards to the extra officials as well, who just
which normally I castigate. I say most of the time, especially the extra ones in the Champions League. I said they're paid spectators. They don't do anything.
That's another one that's another one we discussed on PT Meets Deryll, David, which is coming out.
Yes, we did, and had a very interesting response to all of that as well. So make sure you keep it locked on for when that does get released.
Exactly. And I mean, this case, Ryan Sonley. You wanted to jump in on a couple of the results as well.
Oh, well, technically, I'll jump in on the England result. I mean, the penalty decision. What the referee didn't actually know whether it was handball against England or it was actually a foul. I mean, he looked like he was a bit lost. He was actually blowing the handball. I mean, going backwards and forwards through it. Yeah, it is a penalty because of 2 fouls, but he looked a bit lost, but at least he made the right decision in the end.
But then that's where the assistants come into play. If the ref's not sure,
and I'm sure that the linesman actually did speak to him through the microphone that they have connected, saying it's a pen. But another thing is, I mean, Rooney equaled Bobby Charlton's goal scoring record, but the teams that he's been scoring against have been as easier than what Bobby Charlton scored against because of the rankings. I mean, we're ranked a team, like the team we're seeded, we're always going to be seeded team. We're playing unseeded teams like San Marino, where back in Bobby Charlton's era and that, they would have been playing, and they would have been playing the likes of Spain, France, Holland, Germany, all the tough teams. And people were saying, well, why rate him as high as Bobby Charlton? Well, in my eyes, I don't rate him as high. It's against teams like San Marino, Liechtenstein, Macedonia, Turkey.
Well, fill in your boots against the minnows, really.
Yeah,
and it's like, but at the same time, it's an old footballing cliche. But you can only beat the teams that are put out in front of you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, that will be the other side of the argument to it, because I saw quite an interesting post somewhere on Facebook where it was like, if Rooney didn't score against those smaller teams, then people would be moaning that he couldn't score against the smaller teams. So it's kind of a catch-22 situation where a lot of football fans don't seem to be happy either way. If he scores and beats Bobby Charlton's record, then it's like, but he did it against small teams. If he doesn't beat the record for a while and can't score against small teams, it's like, but he can't score against smaller teams. No, it's a catch-22 situation. You're doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. Which I kind of see that with managers as well, but that's another story.
And another thing is, I'm glad that Wales actually got a result on Friday night and won 1-0. I mean, they were unlucky yesterday, drawing 0-0, but I mean, they deserve to go through. I mean, they're unbeaten. They've won 5, drew 3. So I mean, they deserve to go through. So hopefully they do.
Yeah, I mean, as Jesse Fizzle said, it's just a case of Wales coming together and supporting them and getting them over the line.
I mean, they need, 1 point from 2 games?
Yeah.
Of them's against Andorra?
Yeah. So it's
I'm sure they're going to get more than the 1 point.
Well, the only thing for sure in football is that nothing's for sure. It's just like that. So,
just hopefully Gareth Bale don't get injured or something. I know that it's not a one-man team, but you know he's going to be the one that.
Well, he's one of the standout players.
Yeah, he's the standout player alongside Ramsey and the other midfielder that stands out. Can't think what he scored now.
But I mean, it's one of them. I mean, Mike Harniman, you wanted to jump in on a couple of these results as well.
Yeah, I think England played some good stuff. Obviously, being San Marino was quite expected. Obviously, the 6-0 was expected anyway. But I think they actually played some decent stuff, especially in the second half. Walcott got himself a couple of goals, which pleased me as an Arsenal fan to see what he can do. And, you know, obviously he's not really been performing for us in the league this season. So to see him get a couple of goals was nice. Harry Kane's goal, I thought, was just a fantastic finish for someone that's, you know, been off form a bit this season as well. And I think that was a good goal. As for Rooney, I think Rooney and Bobby Charlton, I'm not really going to go into the comparison of that because...
Oh, there is none, I don't think.
I don't know. Like there is and there isn't. The fact that they're both on the same goal tally and stuff, it doesn't really mean a lot to me. I think what Ryan was saying kind of makes sense, but at the same time, if you're going to be scoring against San Marino or Liechtenstein or Macedonia or whoever, then at least you're still doing your job and you're kind of still doing what you need to do for the team. So at the end of the day, it's not really that much of a deal. But yeah, just to touch on that a little bit more, I think that Rooney will probably get the record tomorrow. I think he'll probably score tomorrow to get that, and England's probably going to win that tomorrow as well. But I think with Wales as well, I think that Wales, they were very unlucky not to win that game yesterday. From what I saw of it, I think I saw about 65, 70 minutes there or thereabouts, and I think Wales dominated, and literally all that was missing was a goal. So I think that will come. They'll get the point they need, and I think they'll qualify as well. But on the others, I'm quite shocked to see Ireland and Scotland both struggling a little bit. Obviously, Scotland are drawing at the moment against Germany as well, and they need to win to have any chance of going through. But I think some of the teams they've played, I thought they would have got a few more results than what they've got as well.
I mean, it's an interesting one with some of these qualifiers. With you say your Scotland's kind of surprising people, the Irish team's doing well, and then you got Holland doing poorly. It's one of them on the other side of the spectrum. It's just kind of an odd one. It really is kind of an odd one. I mean, just want to come back quickly. Deryll, you were mentioning something about Rooney as well. I kind of agree with you on this one, actually. But do you want to articulate to the people what you said in the Skype chat about Rooney before we move on to Russ?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I thought Rooney should have. If I was Rooney, and I was one goal from equaling the scoring record, I think I'd have liked to score it in open play. I think it's important to kind of say, right, okay, I'm a striker, let me score, because against San Marino, no disrespect to them, but practically every team that's played them has beat them, and I think he could have scored a real decent goal, and that would have put his goal scoring record, and they would have went, right, he scored a great goal to equalise. To equal Bobby Charlton's. Instead, he got a dubious penalty decision, and he scored from 12 yards. And he even said that the run-up he had to watch his run-up because the pitch wasn't very good. So to equal it like that, I don't think it was great. So, I mean, definitely tomorrow, if he goes on, I hope he scores an open play, and I hope England don't get another penalty that he takes. If the penalty does come, I hope that somebody else takes it and gives him the chance to actually show us that he's England's best striker by scoring non-stop.
I mean, it is one of them ones where it's like it's not going to look that good on the DVD compilation, the inevitable DVD compilation of all his goals. That the one to take him past the record, well, the one to equal the record was a penalty against San Marino, and the one to, if it happens, it'll be another penalty to kind of really just send them over the record. It'd be like, yeah. But I mean, any striker is going to take any goal that they can get, and I think that's the thing. But then again, it's not as if like England really needed Rooney to step up and score that goal. We could have missed that penalty and still been comfortable. So yeah, I do agree with you on that one. Actually, it would have been nice to have that from open play.
I do see the point, and you know, the thing is, I personally kind of agree with Ryan Sonley, and I know that doesn't happen very often. So there's your present for the rest of your life. Okay. But I will say this: you can only score against the teams that are put in front of you. That's all you can do. There really isn't anything else, right? So if he's doing that and he's got to where he's got to, I think he still deserves a lot of credit for doing that. Now, should the penalties be included or not? That's a whole other question to open up to everyone. And I'd like to have your opinions on that as well. But at the same time, again, if you find the back of the net from 12 yards, it's still a goal.
Yeah, they all count. They all count. But it's one of them was, if you're breaking the scoring record, you want to do it in style.
Yeah, of course you do. But then look, not everybody's going to be able to score fantastic volleys from 30, 40 yards out.
But if Rooney,
not every goal is like that.
But if
some of the goals
Rooney's
scrappy,
supposed to be
some of them
world
are
class,
tapping,
shouldn't we expect?
some of them bounce off your shin, some of them bounce off your knee, some of them bounce off, one of your abs or something. Like, this is how the game works.
But
they all count.
But then there's a lot of people who say Rooney's world class. If he's world class, shouldn't we expect great goals from him all the time? I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
And here's the thing: I'll play along with you, and I'll say yes and no.
You're not playing with me. Sorry.
Yes and no. Just because at the same time, the thing about world-class players, especially forwards, right? It's not about how to take their chances. It's about the fact that they take their chances. Literally any chance. That's the real difference between a world-class forward and a forward that is just very, very good domestically. It's like any chance, half chance, quarter chance, full chance taken. That's the real difference. So as I say to you, in terms of the type of goal, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who he scores against doesn't matter. What matters is that he scores.
Do you know what? Speaking of scoring, actually, perfect segue. Russ Vernon has just updated us. Scotland 2, Germany 3. Ilkay Gundogan has scored on 54 minutes to put Germany 3-2 up. Deryll, you had a question. You had a question that you wanted to fire out.
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of pose a question of, Rooney, as you mentioned, a world-class player. I mean, if we were selling Rooney to Real Madrid, I think Man United, if we were sending Rooney to Man United, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, we'd be well looking at past any 50 million mark, because if we sell Sterling for 49, realistically we've got to sell Rooney for a lot more. So I mean, thinking of that, I mean, I posed the question of, do you think it's more psychological for Rooney that he doesn't think he can score in open play? Because the only time he's had to shine in this campaign was in the Champions League, where he scored a hat-trick. He hasn't been able to fully do it in the Premier League since and before that. So I think maybe, in my opinion, it might be psychological from him that he thinks, right, I really want to break this record. I'm going to do it in any way. And he was a bit of desperation there.
You know what? Considering his goal drought for United recently, I think that you might be onto something there. And I didn't think of it in that way, but there is credence to that argument. Yeah,
I mean, okay, let's face facts here. In terms of a domestic goal drought, is it there? Yes, it is. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. It's big, it's purple, and it looks like Wayne Rooney. So we've addressed that now.
That's an ugly elephant.
Right, we've addressed that now. And I think the thing about it is, and I'll use Harry Kane as a similar example, although his example isn't anywhere near as prominent. He's on a domestic goal drought, but he scores on international duty. Whatever it is, whatever kind of spark that you need to find from wherever you find it to help you get going, then that's what you need, right? And maybe for Wayne Rooney, it's scoring on international and continental competition. Maybe it's that. right? And let's not forget, Wayne Rooney is a very patchy player. And I'm not even talking about his hair.
That's cool.
Right? No, I'm being real. I'm not talking about his hair. Yes, they did a great job, but I think he's starting to thin again. Anyway, the other thing that I'm saying is, in that, his goals come in bunches. That's generally how he works. He goes in spurts and fits and starts. That's what he does, right? So with that, maybe he needs this goal. Maybe the weight mentally of having to achieve breaking this record is playing a big role. We don't know. I mean, I haven't spoken to him personally to find out, but I think once that's out of the way, things will get very interesting, especially in terms of how things go domestically. Because the other thing to say about Wayne Rooney and Manchester United in the Premier League anyway is that they're still kind of figuring each other out, right? Last season, was that really his main role? No. Was he thrust into it and ended up doing very well? Yes, but that wasn't his main role last season. So he's adjusting to a new role. He's adjusting to new players. And all of this takes time. How many Premier League games have we had now? What, 3, 4?
I think 4, yeah.
Right? So to say that everything is going to be, clicking on all cylinders straight away, I think is being very premature. Yeah, you're arriving just a little bit too early with all of that talk, right? I think, everybody's kind of, swept up in Manchester City, but there's still departments for them that are disjointed. They're not absolutely invincible.
Yeah. I mean, I got asked a couple
and
of times on Saturday,
4 games.
who do I think's standing out at the moment? And it's like, all right, Man City are standing out now, but it's so early in the season, no real judgments can be made.
This is it. And once, as I say, we get into the congestion points, and I'm not talking about the congestion zone or the danger zone here, but once we get to the congestion zones of the domestic cups, Europe, and of course winter, right? That's when we'll see who's really firing on all cylinders. That's when we'll see which squads, and I'm not talking about first 11s, which squads are really together as a cohesive unit and performing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas right about now, as I say, it's far too early. It's like, listen, mate, the thing's not starting for another hour. You're going to have to wait a little while.
I mean, Mike Harniman has said in the Skype chat, you can't expect great goals from everyone all the time, whether it's Rooney or Kane. If you're going through a bad spell, sometimes they need a sloppy goal to kick on and get over any blips they have, which is a good point. As well, to be perfectly frank. So it's an interesting one. I mean, Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in on a couple of these games before we move on to the football.
Yes, I did, Liam. First and foremost, I watched the England game on Saturday. I thought it sounded like a training exercise for me. I thought England were teaching as a training exercise. I thought we always knew we were going to be San Marino as everyone apart from, I think it was Estonia who's drawn with him, which was a 0-0 draw this campaign. That's the only point San Marino's going this campaign, and the other game they have lost. I thought Wales were unlucky. I thought if yesterday in the game yesterday, if he waited to be longer, the Simon Church, if he waited just a fraction or two before running on to Bale's flick on, then he would have been onside. If he waited until Bale flicked on and then ran on and then ended it over the keeper, they would have got the goal that they needed yesterday to qualify yesterday with a win, which I thought they played very well in, but were very unfortunate not to get the goal. I was watching two games last night as well, Liam. I watched the Italy game from last night, and I thought they played some good football, and for me it was a definite penalty in that one for Italy. And I thought, when I saw the Holland result yesterday against Turkey, I was like, wow, Holland's coming really poor recently, and they're not turning on, not playing like they used to, and it looks like they could end up missing out. All the best place they can hope for now is to get into by a playoff spot, which they can still reach. I'm saying yesterday, I'm currently watching Northern Ireland tonight, Liam, and they're playing some decent football at the moment. They've had 3 shots on target, none gone in, yes, still 0-0. over that one there, Liam, against Hungary tonight. I'll keep you updated in the chat, guys.
No, nice.
And I think they're playing some decent football. They've gone close a few chances Northern Ireland tonight. I think if we can get that all broken goal through really deadlock, I think they can get more in this one, because Hungary have looked to be shaky in defence and don't really like causing Northern Ireland any problems in attack. So if Northern Ireland can get that breakthrough, they'll try and push that together and go with Hungary. And I think Northern Ireland can get a few more, and hopefully Northern Ireland can go through. Leeds United man Stuart Dallas is playing in this game, and he played Friday as well against Fair Isles, which I watched, and I thought he played good football then. And he's just, every time I've seen him since he come to Leeds in the summer, just before his opening game of the season, and for Northern Ireland, he's just getting better each game he plays, and he's having another good game tonight. So far, he's my man of the match. And Azon could just strike one wide on 67 minutes there. Liam still goalless. The Windsor Park, and any update I'll give you in the chat too. So stay locked into Pitch Talk for you 2016 updates on the home nations and many more tonight. I'll post you those later as well, Liam, from the rest of the games.
No, nice one, Russ. Nice one. I mean, it's one of us. I mean, we're going to continue in terms of results. We're going to jump down to the Football League. Saturday, 5th of September, 2015. There were no championship games. No championship games, obviously, because of the international break as well. Sky Bet League 1, Southend 2, Peterborough 1. Big shout out to Tom Wood, who is one of the PT family and, of course, a Southend United fan as well. But Southend 2, Peterborough 1. Peterborough in turmoil at the moment. They've actually gotten rid of their manager, Robertson. And if you've been following our Twitter and Facebook, you will see that there's been a lot said about that. But it is one of them ones where Barrett opened the scoring on 32 minutes, Hunt scored on 70 minutes, and Madison scored on 90 minutes. But it was all too little, too late, really. Barnsley 1, Shrewsbury 2, Ellis on 6 minutes, Winnall on 38 minutes, and Clark on 94 minutes. Chesterfield 2, Wigan 3. This is a match that Chesterfield really should have had dead and buried, but Gardner scored on 62 minutes. Barnett own goal on 68 minutes. Barnett scored at the other end as well on 81 minutes. Davis scored a penalty on 87 minutes. And Mayfulia scored on 90 minutes. And it is one of them ones where crazy match. Those who saw that on Football League tonight on Channel 5. God, that was a treat. Those highlights were a treat. Crew 1, Swindon 3. King scoring on 61 minutes. Smith scoring on 63. Thomas scoring on 82 minutes. And Ayose scoring on 92 minutes. Continuing his good form recently. Fleetwood 1, Rochdale 1. Vicente scoring on 55 minutes. And Matt equalising on 87 minutes. Gilligan 1, Doncaster 0. Hesson Taylor scoring on 66 minutes. Oldham 1, Bradford 2. Burke scoring on 21 minutes. Forte was sent off on 34 minutes. Cole, for an off-the-ball incident, Cole was sent off on 63 minutes, and Mills scored on 81 minutes. Scunthorpe 0, Blackpool 1. Blackpool finally getting that winning feeling back. 35 minutes, Potts with the only goal of the game. Walsall 0, Bury 1. Jones on 6 minutes. With the only goal of that game. Sky Bet League 2, Newport County 0, York City 3. Barrett scoring on 38 minutes. Thompson scoring on 55 minutes. Oliver scoring on 59 minutes. Holmes was sent off on 77 minutes after a second bookable. He was booked earlier on 69 minutes. Carlisle 3, Barnet 2. Miller on 2 minutes. Asamoah on 19 minutes and on 64 minutes. Dembele scored on 29 minutes, and Gash scored on 31 minutes. Cambridge 1, Luton 3. Gutteridge, legit goal of the week contender. If you've seen my personal Twitter at SSLJA, you will see that this lob right here, it's one of them ones. Legit goal of the week contender. Stuff of the week is later on in the show. Legg equalised on 28 minutes. Wilkinson scored on 66 minutes, and Green scored on 84 minutes. Dunk was booked on 42 and sent off on 64 minutes. Exeter 4, Leyton Orient 0. Leyton Orient did have a 100% record, but that was shattered. Nichols from the penalty spot on 5 minutes. That's T. Nichols. A. Nichols scored on 37 minutes. T. Nichols scored again on 56 minutes, and Wheeler scored on 77 minutes to shatter Leyton Orient's 100% record. Mansfield 1, Wimbledon 1. Elliott opening the scoring on 6 minutes, Clements on 15 minutes, and Taylor was sent off on 94 minutes. Northampton 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 2. Richards opening scoring on 23 minutes, McClure scoring on 28 and 39 minutes. There's a Simpsons reference I could make there, but I won't. Portsmouth 0, Accrington 0. Stevenage 2, Plymouth 1. Ogilvy scoring on 6 minutes, Whelpdale scoring on 38 minutes, and Tanner getting one back for Plymouth on 54 minutes. We got a couple of the PT family members who we know are going to jump in on that one. But Wickham 2, Hartlepool 1. Harriman scoring on 26 minutes. Magnay scoring on 43 minutes. Harriman scoring again on 56 minutes. Magnay was sent off on 86 minutes. Big shout outs to Ollie Wooden, chairman of Ibis FC, who is a Wickham Wanderers supporter. Yeovil 2, Morecambe 4. Cornick on 2 minutes. Jeffers was sent off on 27 minutes. So Wumney was on the score sheet on 30 minutes. Wildig scored on 64 minutes, Fleming on 71, Molyneux on 84, and Ellison on 92 minutes. In terms of other results, from Sunday, 6th of September 2015, Sky Bet League 1, Burton 1, Coventry 2, Martin with an own goal on 11 minutes, Tudgay scoring on 20 minutes, Vincelot scoring on 56 minutes, Bristol Rovers 0, Oxford United 1, Clark on 17 minutes was sent off, Circum was sent off for a second Booker ball on 59, and Roof scored on 62 minutes. In the FAWSL on Sunday, Chelsea Ladies 2, Notts County Ladies 1, and Manchester City Women 1, Sunderland Ladies 0, keeping it tight at the top of the Women's Super League, keeping it very, very tight. It's also very tight in FAWSL 2 as well, but yeah, it is one of them ones. And Saturday's FAWSL results: Liverpool Ladies 0, Arsenal Ladies 2. Alex Scott, the marauding right back in this one, from the highlights earlier on the women's football show. And Bristol Academy Women 0, Birmingham City Ladies 3. Bristol Academy women are desperate for wins. I think they've got 6 points to play. I think they've got 7 points potentially. I think they've got 6 points left to play for. They need wins to stay up, but it is one of them ones. Also, by the way, the England Lionesses squad for the upcoming Euro 2017 qualifiers were announced on the Women's Football Show earlier tonight on the BBC Red Button. That will be repeated after us, actually, straight after Pitch Talk Live. It's one of them ones, BBC Red Button, and online you can see the Women's Football Show. So it's one of them ones, they go through the squad that Mark Sampson, who is in studio there, actually announced. Now, Mike, Ryan, which one of you wants to go first in terms of Stevenage v Plymouth? All right, Ryan, how about it?
Because we can't let the birthday boy go first. Well, from my point, I mean, yeah, Stevenage took the lead after 7 minutes and then scored again after 28 minutes. I mean, the first goal, I've seen the highlights of it. I mean, it looked like it was a bit of a dodgy defending from us, but at least we tried to. I mean, it took a deflection off an ex-Stevenage player in Peter Hartley, went in over the McCormick, who was stranded. And then the 28th minute goal, I thought, I mean, it was great work, play by Stevenage. And I mean, they deserved to go 2-0 up. I mean, I was listening to it on BBC Radio Devon through our goal player. And then we got a goal back, and I thought, oh, this could be exactly like what we did in the JPT, where we were 2-0 down and 1-3-2 for the first time in 913 days. And I thought, well, is this going to happen? And we got a goal through Craig Tanner, who it took a deflection off the defender of Stevenage and went in, but goes down a Tanner goal because obviously it was on target. But we didn't actually look like we were wanting to get another goal. I mean, I've listened to Derek Adams' interview on our goal player, and he said we didn't look forward to going forward like we did against AFC Wimbledon in the JPT, and we should have, if we'd gone on, we would have carried on going. But there was one thing that come to my mind. I mean, I've just spoke to Deryll David about it. I mean, we had a goal disallowed in like the last few minutes of in the last 10-15 minutes of the game, and from Jake Jarvis. I mean, as I've said to Deryll, what did you think of it? And he just said that he couldn't see no contact, but he saw that Jake Jarvis didn't actually make a complaint to the referee for why the goal was disallowed. But as an Argyle fan and that, we've been told not to complain to the referee that much, because if you have more than 2 men around the referee at one point, the referee can issue yellow cards.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a case. I mean, Mike Harniman, you wanted to jump in as well, didn't you, on that same result?
Yeah, I thought we played some good stuff from what I saw. The first half, obviously going 2-0 up from Ogilvie, who's on loan from Spurs, and then Whelpdale's goal as well. I thought was quite solid in the first half. Looked pretty solid. Didn't look like we were giving anything away. And then obviously we gave away a bit of a sloppy goal in the second half. Straight away, Tanner gets his header, comes off the keeper and goes in. And then we see 6 minutes at the end, which we had when we played them last year at their place. And, they got a penalty then. So that worried me. I thought something similar was going to happen again. And I think it was actually in the 6 minutes that the disallowed goal happened as well. So my heart was going a bit, I was a bit worried. But at the end of the day, we just held on for the 3 points, and it was deserved, I think, overall. And, we're unbeaten in 3 now as well. So we're coming together quite slowly and sort of steady in that at the moment. And we've got another home game against York at the weekend. So I think we can get another 3 points there as well.
I mean, Russ Vernon, you also wanted to jump in on a couple of the Football League results quickly before we got into an A-League round.
Yeah, but I just want to say, on this Southend game, I saw Mr. Tom Wood on the TV and sent him the photo that I took of him on the TV. Going to the matches I want to talk about now, and we still always know Oxford when I thought Oxford were the more likely team to win it. Clark shouldn't have been sent off for me for Mr. Rovers. I couldn't see nothing wrong with that. Put his arm. Both players, they were looking at the ball and both players had the arms up, so I can't see why he got penalised. If he's going to get sent off with his arm up, then the Oxford man should as well. Second got sent off. Both yellow cards were definitely yellow cards for me. He had no complaints. Then in the Burton Albion commentary game now, I thought Burton looked good. I thought they could have got on together win, but it wasn't to be. Martin scored in both ends, and for me it looked like the second goal for commentary was offside of the first, but when I've seen the replay, Martin and Vincellet was in the same position when the ball was played, so he was onside. Vincellet was onside, but it could have been disallowed for handball for me. That goal, because he did Vincellet on his arm as well, but the officials didn't spot it and thought that they were unlucky, and they'll go again and try and get that win. And I just want to say congratulations to Southend for their first win back in Sky Bet League One of the weekend, and really happy for Tom Wood and all the Southend fans. I know Jordan Stringer as well, and Cameron Loveridge as well. So big shout out to you three, and keep up the Blues, and hopefully you can get more wins, and hopefully if we don't go up, we'll be playing us next season, and hopefully I can meet you all at either Ellen Road, or if I come down to Roos Hall, I can meet you there.
You know what? Yeah, we actually have had Tom Wood text in. But hi guys, just texted to see how you all are. We're all good. Hope your weekends have been good. My weekend was decent. The Southend have finally won a game against Peterborough. My view on the Southend game was decent, and I feel sorry for the Peterborough manager, as he didn't deserve to lose his job. as he should have been given more time. I hope you all have a good week/weekend. I'm off to bed now as I'm off for work at 5. Take care. Keep up the good work, guys. And that was from Tom Wood. And you know, it is one of them ones where the Robertson sacking was a bit odd, considering how brief it was into the season. We actually did have a bit of a discussion on our Facebook wall about it as well, so it was quite an interesting one. But you know what, we did allude to it earlier in the show, and it is about that time for something from Finn White Line, because you didn't know? Finn White Line's going to tell you about A-League football.
Thanks for that tuneful introduction, Liam. A-League doesn't kick off for another month or so, but we haven't been without entertainment. We've had the FFA Cup, which has seen clubs from all across Australia take part, as well as A-League teams. The round of 32 has been completed, and we're now through to the quarterfinals. Strong representation from A-League teams, as you would imagine. There's a few all A-League fixtures in there, including a very tasty Adelaide United, the defending champions, versus Melbourne Victory, who, of course, are the current A-League champions. What else is news? Well, the Socceroos have been playing. Now, you'll all love this. Australia played Bangladesh last week at home in Australia and won 5-0. 5-0 to Australia over Bangladesh. The Bangladesh coach before kickoff said that he'd be happy if they kept it to 3-0. So it gives you a bit of an idea of what kind of a match it was. Tom Rogic scored a couple of goals from memory. He's playing for Celtic these days, although mostly what he does up at Celtic is warm the bench. But who knows, maybe this is going to be his breakout season. Tomorrow we'll see Australia. Australia has already travelled to Tajikistan. I beg your pardon, Tajikistan. They'll be playing there, Australia versus Tajikistan. This is all part of the World Cup qualifiers. A bit of A-League news, though, just to wrap it up, is that Thomas Sorensen has been signed by Melbourne City. 39 years old, the goalkeeper is, and he's been signed by Melbourne City on a 2-year deal. So that's where your petrol money's going, everybody. It's going to pay for Thomas Sorensen's wages. Now, there's been a bit of an outcry in Australia over this, because what's the one class of football that Australia produces consistent world-class? Well, that's the goalkeeper, of course. Mark Bosnich, Mark Schwarzer, you might remember Zelko Kalic, who played for AC Milan, and right now you've got Matty Ryan, who's playing for Valencia in the Champions League. You've got Mitch Langerak, who's playing in the Bundesliga. You've got Adam Federici, who does goodness knows what in the Premier League these days. Various other keepers you could probably name, all Australian. So what have we done in Australia? We've signed a foreign keeper who's 39 years old on a 2-year deal. So plenty of eyebrows have been raised over that one. So back to you.
It's one of them ones. Gotta say a big time thank you to Mr. Ian Kerr for supplying us with an A-League roundup. Remember those details for Finn White Line magazine at Tweet White Line on Twitter. Give them a follow. Tell them we sent you. Also, facebook.com/Finn White Line magazine. It's one of them ones. And also, FinnWhiteLineMagazine.com is their official website. You can find their podcast there. You can buy the shirts there as well. And you can also buy the latest edition of, I think it's still on pre-order. It's one of them was the latest edition of Finn White Line magazine. And that's got Harry Kane on the front and a whole load of quality articles inside as well. So go to FinnWhiteLineMagazine.com to find that. You know what? It is one of them ones where we are going to take a quick little pause because it's time to once again switch segments. And we have got one hell of a lot to talk about in
General Talking Points.
We love to sing on a Monday night. Boys and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is your Monday Night Football Fix. We are live on YouTube and we also podcast too. We still got loads more show. Why? Because this is Pitch Talk. You know what? We're going to open general talking points with a couple of congratulations, a couple of announcements as well. The first congratulations we have to give actually relates to one of our Skypers, because regional representative 2015-16 announcement. September 2015, the RAFA Youth Council are delighted to announce the team of regional representatives who will be delivering a number of RAFA Youth Council programs across the country, ensuring all county FAs, local RAs and youth councils receive the same level of support. The team of regional representatives have been selected after a rigorous selection and application process, and we'd like to congratulate them all on their appointment. All right, so the RAFA Youth Council Regional Representatives 2015-16, Northeast, Andrew Kitchen of Durham, Northwest, Sam Yates of Lancashire, East, George Lowe of Essex, East Midlands, Charlotte Sparling of Leicester and Rutland, West Midlands, Charles Humphreys of Worcestershire. You might recognize this next name because London and Central, Mr. Deryll David of the Amateur FA, Southeast, Jeff French of Kent, and Southwest, Kieran Salmons of Somerset. The team will be starting their role at the first RAFA Youth Council meeting of the year on Sunday, 27th of September. For all queries, please email info@rafayc.co.uk. Now, even more congratulations are in order because Mourinho has been awarded 5 Guinness World Records. Lampard and Smalling have also been honoured as well from September 4th, 2015. It was announced via Chelsea's official Twitter. Jose Mourinho has his name entered into the 2016 version of the Guinness Book of Records. The following awards will appear in the 2016 edition. Longest football unbeaten home run by a manager, 9 years. Most Champions League titles with different clubs, 2. Youngest manager to reach 100 Champions League matches, 49 years, 12 days. Most points in Premier League season, 95. Most games unbeaten at home in the Premier League, 77. Frank Lampard was also presented with an award for scoring against the most Premier League teams. Poetically finished off with a strike for Manchester City against Chelsea. The former England midfielder usurped Andy Cole, who previously held the record with 38. Elsewhere, Manchester United defender Chris Smalling scooped 2 less than esteemed awards, scoring the fastest goal in the Premier League by a substitute from kickoff, 5 minutes and 9 seconds, and the most goals in the Premier League scored by a substitute in the first half. Now, also congratulations as well to Parma. September 6th. Parma kicked out the Italian Professional League in June after being declared bankrupt. YouTube.com/Pitch Talk. We went through 2 shows in terms of special features regarding the Parma situation. But they began life in the 4th division on Sunday with a 1-0 win away to Arzignano. Defender Alessandro Lucarelli, 38, was the only survivor from the team that finished bottom of Serie A last season amid financial turmoil, which embarrassed Italian football. Parma were wound up in June after no buyers came forward to bail out the club, which had debts widely reported to be over 200 million euros. The Italian Federation, FIGC, then gave permission for a new club backed by pasta baron Guido Barilla and other business executives to take part in Serie D, the 4th tier of Italian football. A club which has the backing of the city's mayor was officially named Parma 1913, although fans and the media already regard it as a continuation of the old club. Nevio Scala, who coached the team during their heyday in the early 90s, has been appointed as president. Around 800 Parma supporters made the trip for Sunday's game, chanting "Scala, take us into Europe." Serie D is the highest level of amateur football in Italy, with 170 teams divided into 9 groups. Parma enjoyed their heyday between 92 and 2002 when they lifted 2 UEFA Cups in 95 and 99 and the 1993 European Cup winners' Cup and 3 Italian Cups, although they never won Serie A. They had been in Serie A for the last 6 seasons. Now, in terms of congratulations, as said, in terms of congratulations that we mentioned, myself, Jezzy Fizzle, and the G-Man, of course, would like to, in reverse order, congratulate Palmer, getting back on their feet. Would like to congratulate Lampard, Smalling, and to a larger extent, Jose Mourinho. And it's a case of, would also like to give a massive congratulations, as said, to our latest Pitch Talk Meets guest, and a man who is in the Skype chat now, and that is Mr. Deryll David, who is part of the Youth Council Regional Representatives for the RAFA. You know what? It's only appropriate. Deryll, how does it feel to be part of the Youth Council Regional Representatives for 2015-16 for the RAFA?
I'll tell you what, I'll start by saying 2015 has actually been a very, very good year for me. I mean, in April, being elected chair of the AFA, which is my county, the AFA Youth Council was great for me. I'm really happy that I got. But now, 5 months down the line, to have applied to join the RAFA Youth Council, which is the Referees Association and FA Youth Council, which is bigger, obviously, because it's a national youth council. And to help referees like myself and other youngers and olders and stuff like that, to help them develop, is something. It's really, really good, and I'm really glad that they've given me the opportunity to join this year, and hopefully I can be a part of their youth council for the next, for the coming future at the moment. So I'm really happy about it. I'm looking forward to go. I mean, I'm going up to St George's Park later on in the month to meet all the guys, because obviously we're from up and down the country. So I'm really glad about that, and thank you very much.
Nah, congratulations, man. Real congratulations. It's one of them ones, man. Hey, like we said when we were interviewing you for our Pitch Talk Meets interview, it's a case of there's a real opportunity to make a huge difference. So and of course we know that you're not taking that lightly. You're taking that with all the kind of further in the world. So it's great. It's great to actually it's great to see that you're moving on and moving up as well, and getting the opportunity to make that impact, because at the end of the day in life it's about opportunities, and it's about taking those opportunities as well. So it is absolutely fantastic stuff. Once again, on behalf of us here at Pitch Talk, the PT family, it's one of them with big time congratulations. Big time congratulations. So Jezzy Fizzle, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet and only say, yes, 2015 has been a very good year so far for Double D, but I will say this 2016 is going to be even better, and as we say, real recognize real, game recognize game, you know what I mean? And really, to put it succinctly, this is just recognition for your hard work, and long may it continue. Not just the recognition, but your hard work too. And it'd be great to see where you end up, say another few months down the line.
Definitely.
Thank you.
So looking forward to your second Pitch Talk Meets, by the way. just want to throw that out there. But in terms of Palmer, I think it's absolutely wonderful. Because, obviously a couple of months ago, we were talking about the end. So for them to bounce back so quickly, it just goes to show what can happen in the footballing community and just how much a football club means to fans. And I see something very similar brewing with Hackney Wick FC and, of course, the Borough of Hackney. So, I hope that continues in terms of the support for Palmer. And, I would love to see them back playing in Serie A. I'd absolutely love that. So, really, really happy for them. In terms of our award winners, in terms of Chris Smalling and Frank Lampard, again, I think, especially for Frank Lampard, deserved award. Absolutely deserved. You're talking about, and I know that the term legend and legendary is thrown around very lightly by some other people. But to have that achievement, that is literally the stuff of legend. So congratulations to him. And then, of course, another legend in Jose Mourinho. And I know there's a lot of people the straight shooting one included, who may not necessarily like or enjoy everything that Jose Mourinho does. And you're entitled to that. There are things that Jose Mourinho does that I don't even agree with personally.
But you got to respect him breaking
this is it. This is it. At the end of the day, right, and I don't say this lightly, he is a deserving interviewee on that football's greatest.
Yeah, no.
In terms of managers, because look at the trophy haul, look at the countries he's done it in, look at the teams he's done it with, and well, that speaks for itself. Right, there really isn't much else. And then of course you talk to his players, and you find out the types of relationships that he had with his players. You know, talk to his staff, same thing.
Actually, that thread is going to continue through general talking points right now. Actually, relationships with players, but we're going to come back to that point.
But yeah, so overall, I think really deserving. And as I say, you look at the record itself, or the records plural that he's gone into the Guinness Book of World Records for. Incredible stuff. And you know, like I was saying to Double D, you don't get there to get to that level of recognition without putting in the hard work. And that's what he's done.
Of course. I mean, Ryan Sonley wanted to also jump in as well. Just before he does, Russ Vernon has just given us a little quick update. Full-time, Scotland 2, Germany 3, and Northern Ireland 1, Hungary 1. Kyle Lafferty with a late equaliser for Hungary. Yeah, Ryan Sonley, you wanted to jump in on these records as well?
I'd like just to say congratulations to Deryll, David, representing London and Central London in the AFA.
Great stuff.
He must deserve it for his contribution to the game. I mean, he's been an honest lad. I mean, he's spoke to me on Facebook and on the Skype about goals, decisions, and all that. So, and I'm glad to have him as a friend.
Hey, and we're glad to have Deryll David on tonight's show as well. Hopefully, we'll get you regularly. Also, on a quick side note, Republic of Ireland 1, Georgia 0. John Walters with the only goal in that game on 69 minutes. You know what? I said, in terms of general talking points, and we did mention relationships with players. The transfer window obviously closed last Tuesday. Transfer window proves Richard Steffer at 870 million. Oh Lord, that's funny. 2nd of September 2015, the summer transfer window. And oh, cool. Hey Deryll, would you like to tell us about that before you bid us farewell? It's quite an interesting one in this game.
Yeah, I'll quickly elaborate on that. So obviously in my role, I represent London, but as a central, they talk about central England in a way, which is really weird because they've put some strange sort of FAs in there. But yeah, I represent all of them in my role in the RA. FA as well as referees in London. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, and that I'm going to be doing in the next coming year. So that's pretty much what it is there. And thank you very much all of you for your congratulations and all sorts. And I'm very happy to have, like I said on the message in the Skype chat, I'm very happy to have spent an hour and just under 2 hours with you all. So thank you very much for that. And I look forward to the next one.
All good, man. Hey, we're here most Mondays, so we'd love to get you back.
Looking forward to it already, Double D.
Brilliant. Anyways, guys, thank you very much, and I'm going to bid you all farewell.
Deryll, thank you once again for joining us, and that's it, man. You're always welcome.
Thank you. See you later.
Take it easy. You know what? Coming back to transfer window, proving Richard Steffer, 870 million. The summer transfer window was the richest in Premier League history, as total spending for the calendar year reached £1 billion for the first time. Summer outlay passed 870 million, 4% up on the record set last year. The biggest spenders, Manchester City, paid the two biggest fees: 55 million for Kevin De Bruyne from Wolfsburg and 49 million for Raheem Sterling. Man United's 36 million pound signing of Monaco teenager Anthony Marshall was the biggest deadline day move. that fee could rise to 58 million with a number of incentive-based add-ons. Since the introduction of the transfer window system in 2002, gross transfer spending has exceeded 7.3 billion, with over 80% of this being spent in the summer transfer windows, according to financial analyst Deloitte. Manchester City broke their club record twice this summer to bring in De Bruyne and Sterling to the Etihad Stadium, as they became England's highest gross spenders in a single window. Their total spend of approximately 160 million beat the near 150 million outlay of Man United in summer of 2014, including deals for Fabian Delph, Patrick Roberts and Nicolas Otamendi. Premier League leaders were boosted this summer by having restrictions on their transfer spending lifted after meeting financial fair play targets. We've been in that before. But it is one of them where the money was spent, 210 million was spent within the Premier League, 75 million into the Football League, there's an issue there, and 585 million pounds was spent overseas. Basically, it is the TV revenue which is allowing this spending, because the financial rewards of staying in the Premier League at the end of the season are immense. Starting from 2016-17, the Premier League TV rights deal increases from 3.018 billion to 5.136 billion for 3 seasons, as we've mentioned on shows before. The bottom club will pocket 99 million pounds per season, with the champions earning more than 150 million in prize money, even before extra money is paid for featuring in a TV match. Now, the 10 most expensive deals of this summer transfer window, 2015. Kevin De Bruyne at Wolfsburg to Man City, 54.5 million. Raheem Sterling, Liverpool to Man City, 49 million. Angel Di Maria, Man United to PSG, 44.3 million. And even that is actually like almost a 15 million pound loss, which is hilarious. Anthony Marshall from AS Monaco to Man United, 36 million. Nicolas Otamendi, Valencia to Man City, 33 million. Christian Benteke, Aston Villa to Liverpool, 32.5 million. Roberto Firmino, Hoffenheim to Liverpool for 29 million. Memphis Depay, PSV to Man United, 27.9 million. Morgan Schneiderlin, Southampton to Man United, 25 million. And Pedro from Barcelona to Chelsea for 21.4 million. Now, as I said, relationships with players was an issue. Stranded. 10 players left high and dry on deadline day. This from September 2nd, 2015. The transfer window can make dreams come true, but these players will have to sit tight for the time being. Now, David De Gea, the very definition of omnishambles. Real Madrid have wanted him for months, but left it until the last minute to try and sign him. Man United knew the approach was coming and tried for Sergio Ramos, apparently, which ended in predictable fashion. Well, predictable to some of us with a brain. But anyway, on Spanish deadline day, Real sent over paperwork for a deal, apparently, with Keylor Navas to be used as a make-weight. The switch was agreed, but an unexplained hold-up saw the whole thing fall apart. We're not going to go into the details of that because it's an absolute joke. De Gea, who's yet to play this season, actually now needs to get his head down, because United's chances of getting the equivalent of 29 million for him in January apparently now look slim. Now, apparently, La Liga are still to see any paperwork for David De Gea's proposed move, and this was a couple of days ago. So it was initially reported that the deal had stalled after the documents were received late, 28 minutes after the Spanish deadline on midnight on last Monday. And apparently the Spanish league's governing body had not received anything from Real confirming De Gea had been added to their squad. So both Real and United are set to appeal FIFA in an attempt to push the deal through at the time. But it was a case of La Liga have said they would be unlikely to back Real. So that might fail. But Saido Berahino is another one. Spurs wanted him. West Brom wanted 25 million for him. He wanted to go. Tottenham tried to force Jeremy Peace into cutting his asking price as the pressure of the deadline obviously approached. But Jeremy Peace actually held firm. The chairman of West Brom actually held firm. But it is one of them. It is one of them ones. Berahino wasn't pleased at the time. He's kind of tried to mend his bridges since that, but he was given time off to actually consider his future. This was from 2nd of September 2015. West Bromwich Albion's under 21 striker Saido Berahino was actually given time off, basically until today, actually, after suggesting he would not play for the club again. He actually, I think, did say, I won't be playing under, or I don't want to play under Jeremy Peace again. That's what you call burning your bridges. Victor Wanyama's another one. He was hoping to go to Tottenham and ended up almost as frustrated as Berahino. He went as far as actually requesting a move away from St. Mary's, but Ronald Koeman had other ideas, insisting the Kenyan will remain at the club until further notice. Koeman signed Jordi Clasie and Oriol Romeo during the window to stiffen his midfield, which obviously they lost Morgan Schneiderlin, and Wanyama is going to have to fight for his place. Adebayor has actually gone AWOL as well, because the Mercurial forward was linked with pretty much every club under the sun, but he remains now at White Hart Lane. Now, he went on a tour of Aston Villa's training ground earlier in the transfer window, but it is a case of like West Ham were apparently keen on deadline day too, but they'd already filled their loan quota with Victor Moses, and Adebayor wouldn't leave Spurs without them paying up the rest of his contract. So now apparently he's gone AWOL. Charlie Austin was another interesting one because he's staying at QPR until at least January, but he was linked with apparently 14 top flight clubs this summer after QPR's relegation to the Championship, but no one was willing to meet the £15 million asking price, despite Charlie Austin's 18 goals last year. He's in the last 12 months of his contract, but apparently QPR are planning to offer him new terms. So at least and Charlie Austin, in all fairness, has not come out and said, "Oh, I want to leave QPR." So that's something to bear in mind. Unlike John Walters, the Republic of Ireland International handed in a transfer request at Stoke in a bid to push through a move to Norwich. However, despite only having 10 months left on his deal, the Potters weren't for turning, sticking to a $3 million valuation that the Canaries never matched. So, Shaqiri, Arnautovic, Afellay, Bojan, and Odemwingie are vying for 3 roles behind the main striker. Waters might not get any game time. He might have burnt a bridge as well. John Stones was another one where Martinez has said he did not mean to hand in his transfer request. That John Stones didn't mean to hand it in, but England international Stones is thought to have been the subject of 3 bids at the time by Premier League champions Chelsea during the window. But Everton remained resolute in their desire to keep hold of him. And Martinez was actually still playing him at the time as well, and he was still doing all right. So that's why Martinez did praise Stones' attitude in dealing with the interest from Chelsea as well. But this leads us on to a point that Arsene Wenger brought up again, because he's been a staunch advocate of abolishing the windows. For February 2015, Arsene Wenger would like to scrap the January transfer window because it can disturb squads at a critical point in the season. The Arsenal manager has said, it still shows that financial fair play had an impact. So he's talking about last January, but it is a case of, he said he would scrap January transfers because it can disturb the cohesion of a group within the season. When the players don't play in October or the end of September, they already think that they may move in January. You lose them, and in our job, it's important that everybody's on board. I find the transfer window a disturbance. So he's talking about January. Now, Gary Monk has said he wants to change to the ludicrous transfer window, and he said this on August 14th. Swansea City manager Gary Monk says it's ludicrous. The transfer window remains open after the start of the Premier League season. Clubs have until September 1st to buy or sell players, which is 4 games into the season. Monk has joined a growing number of managers by saying all transfer dealings should be completed before the first game is played. I think it's ludicrous that it goes into the season, he said. It's stupidity. By the time the transfer window opened on the first day of July, Swansea had already wrapped up all their main deals, as we've mentioned through. But he believed, but basically, it is one of them ones where with the disruption and uncertainty caused by having the transfer window open during the start of the season has been raised in a meeting of Premier League clubs, but the league's chief executive, Richard Scudamore, has said reaching a pan-European agreement on changing the current system is problematic. But Monk believes the agreement is skewed in favour of the bigger clubs who have more bargaining power because of their greater finances. It doesn't benefit clubs like ourselves, he said. I think you have your period in the summer to prepare. If you do your preparation right, you should be able to bring the players in before the first game of the season. I think that's when the cutoff point should be, that Friday night before the season kicks off, and then reopen in January. Now, Jesse Fizzle, before we throw it out to the Skypers, I want to ask 2 questions.
Sure.
Actually, technically 3.
Go for it.
January transfer window, should it be scrapped? The summer transfer window, should that end before the season starts? And also, players such as Stones, Austin, Waters, Adebayor, Wanyama, Berahino, David De Gea, have they burnt their bridges in terms of handing in transfer requests, and also some of these moves, especially the De Gea one, just botching and not happening? Those are my 3 questions.
In terms of bridges being burnt, I think something has definitely been lit. I will say that. As to whether or not the bridge has been burnt all the way, I don't think so. I think there has to be understanding from both parties, i.e. the club has to be understanding to the point where it's a matter of, well, look, you know, we're dealing with young athletes, okay, for the most part, and we're dealing with their livelihoods. Okay, so we're talking about their financial and economic futures, which means that, you know, if these big potential deals come through, these are life-changing things, right? The amount of money that they're going to earn, or potentially earn, again, absolutely life-changing. You cannot ignore that. It's absolutely huge. So, with that in mind, right, I says to you, I understand it. I do understand it. And again, I think it's also down to the people in and around these players in terms of agents and their family and their friends and so on and so forth, right? So in the case of Saido Berahino, I'd say, did he help himself? No, not at all. I personally don't believe that. I think the best place for him to be is West Brom. Very similar to what happened with Raheem Sterling, right? Where I was saying, and you can go back and check the podcast because I haven't misspoken when I say this. You know, I said the best place for him to be, Liverpool. He does not need to leave. I actually said that, and I still believe that him leaving, in terms of his, you know, development as a footballer, is a negative move. It's positive for his bank balance. Don't get me wrong, and I respect that in many ways. But in terms of his playing career, in terms of him, you know, getting as much football under his belt as possible and helping him grow in his development, sorry, he's done himself a disservice. And this is this very similar situation or potential situation with Saido Berahino, right? Because at West Brom, look, he's one of the main guys up front. And hasn't Brown Udayi left the club as well after Solomon Rondon came in?
I think so, yeah.
So literally it's been 1 in, 1 out. So there's no added competition there. So he's got even more chance of playing the prominent role, especially if he's on form, right? And really what he needs to do, similar to what I was saying about Raheem Sterling as well in the previous podcast, was that he needs to continue to show the form that he's shown for an extended period. You know, half a season, quarter of the season, a whole season, it's not enough, right? In my opinion, to justify his move to Tottenham or to justify Raheem Sterling's move to Manchester City based on form alone, right? There needs to be more of a body of work, in my opinion, right? So in terms of burning bridges, not completely, because I think, you know, provided that the players can get their minds right and focus on the task at hand, there's always going to be a space in the squad for them, unless, of course, there is something else that's happened. And I'll bring you even further back to the previous podcast, previous shows, where we were talking about David Moyes and Wilfried Zaha.
Yeah.
Right? So that was particularly interesting. In terms of, do I think the summer window, should that close earlier? Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think that squads need to settle. The problem with the summer window is that it's Europe-wide. It's not country-based, right? So just because one window shuts in one country doesn't mean that, you know, players from other countries still can't move, so on and so forth. So I think there needs to be a universal point where players in the region just can't move. And once that's decided, then all right. Should that be before the start of the season? Yes, I do. I agree with that, because I think the teams need to act a lot quicker with negotiations and their preparations. To the point where I say this: if the players are important enough, you want them with you for as long as possible. So why would you want to obstruct that? Which is what brings me to, some of the deals that fell through. So the Tottenham deal with Cedar Berahino, for me, look, if you want the guy, stop haggling. No, I'm being serious. If you want him, stop haggling. You know what the price is. Pay the money. Right? If you go into the shop to buy anything, once they've set the price, if you want it, you'll find a way to pay for it. You pay for it. Done. Right? So I recently purchased a course from a company that I've been working with for a while now, and they set their price. After that, it's up to me. Right? Do I want it? Yes or no? If I'm gonna buy Pro Evolution Soccer 2016 or FIFA 2016, they've set their price for what it is for the PlayStation 4. Right? If I want it, I pay the money. It's that simple. There's no haggling there. It's not like, oh, well, I don't like this feature, don't like that feature, so let's no. No. At the end of the day, right? Literally, at that point, the close of the transfer window, right? That's not the time for haggling and negotiation. That doesn't work for me, personally. If you want the player, pay the money, meet the evaluation, get the player, and get on with doing what you're doing, right? This whole, fiasco now of the league apparently not necessarily receiving paperwork at all for David De Gea just puts that whole transfer in even worse a light for me personally. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Because as I say, if you want him, pay the money. Same as Berahino. If they're telling you 25 million, if you want him, pay the 25 million. Right? I read today that there was supposed to be some sort of study that says that Manchester United paid, I think, about 20 million too much for Anthony Martial.
Yeah, I keep seeing that. And then, what's it? Raheem Sterling is bargain of the window in the
Right?
same study.
And I'm like,
you can only see that in hindsight, though. That's the thing.
Okay, I can understand that, because would I have said that Anthony Martial is worth 36 million? Me personally, I'd have been like, no, sorry, I don't believe that personally. So, again, that makes sense to me. Yeah, personally, because do I believe he's at that level? No, because has he proven anything so far? No. So again, I understand that, but the counterbalance to all of that is this: if you want the player, you pay the money. Right? All of this ongoing will they vote they with David De Gea, Real Madrid. To be honest, I'm disappointed with them. Mostly because at any other point in time, they would have literally thrown money at the player that they want. They're used to paying absolutely astronomical fees for the players that they want, right? So I'm saying, what's different here? If they're telling you it's 30-odd million, find the 30-odd million. It's not as if the money's not there for them, with the way that the TV deal's set up, etc., etc. The money's there.
You know what? Yeah, it is one of them ones before we throw out to the Skypers.
So as I say, for me, that part of it really disappointing, because Real Madrid have the money. So again, if they're telling you 30-odd million, listen, if you're gonna spend, didn't they spend something like 30-odd million on Kovacic from Inter?
Yeah.
Right, and he's gonna be what, a rotation player? You're looking to buy a #1 goalkeeper. Them telling you 30 million plus Keylor Navas, nothing, absolutely nothing in terms of the negotiations versus what you paid for Kovacic, which I think was ridiculous, just because I don't see him playing enough to warrant that fee. That's my biggest objection to that. So I'm like, if you can go and spend 30-odd million on Kovacic, you can find the 30-odd million for David De Gea. Get that done, okay? You have Spain's #1 goalkeeper, arguably one of Spain's biggest clubs, okay? He's the natural successor to Iker Casillas, not just in the national team, but for Real Madrid. Get it done. It's really not that complicated. If you want him, pay the money, done.
You know what? For me, this whole thing, For me, the whole thing was actually a joke with David De Gea. And as you rightly said, it is a case of pay the money, because now guys like David De Gea, who came so close to moving, had been left out of the team for a couple of games. This now, I mean, what does that do potentially for his confidence? It's like, oh crap, I thought I was going to move. Same with Valdez. He was in quite a tough position as well. But it's one of them was Kilo and Navas. You got to feel for them as well. When you think you're going to move, you get your mindset on, right, I'm moving there. I'm not going to play for this club anymore. So there's that. And apparently his girlfriend was shooting him out for. But then you look at Berahino, was even worse, because at the end of the day, Tottenham, just like Real Madrid, shut the F up and pay the money. Just pay the damn money if you want the player. Like, especially when the deadline day is coming. I can understand West Brom wanting to hold on to one of their best assets. But at the same time, if the player wants to go, it's hard to keep him. Because
it is. But then I think the other
not going to be in the game. So this
side of that, though,
this is where player power. This is where player power comes in, because players in these deals, players/agents have the power. Because if the club keeps someone like a Berahino or like a Wanyama or maybe even an Adebayor against their will now, it's a case of they're probably just going to be lazy and be like, you know what, I don't care anymore. Some will be professional, like say a John Stones, who had his head turned, obviously, because he handed in a transfer request. But obviously he looks like all right, I'm going to get my head down and just keep playing. But someone like Adebayor, who's just going AWOL. I mean, you got Stones and Austin, who are just like, all right, you know what, I'll get on with it. I mean, Austin hasn't looked bothered by all the bids. He's cracked on. But the fact is, I definitely think that, especially in the Berahino situation and also the Wanyama situation, it's a case of the burnt bridges. Now, the fact that you're having to be given time off to consider your future, that's not a good sign. I mean, at least the club are understanding enough to do that. But, I mean, David De Gea got dropped for a couple games. So where's his head at? So, but also, it's one of them abolishing January transfer window, yeah, I would go with that. I would personally go with that and have the summer just the summer window, because players go for stupid money in the January window, and you always get this thing where, oh my God, he's got 6 months left on his contract, we need to get rid. And you get that, and then you get people paying like astronomical prices, as well as the disjointing of a squad when you're coming into quite a crucial time of the season. So let's say your best player leaves in January, then you're kind of almost up Crab Creek without a paddle, because that window is not just short, but it's just awkwardly placed. And you know that if you sell your best and you try and get someone in, you're paying way over the odds. So, also, the summer transfer window should be closed before the season starts. I mean, I can see this whole pan-European thing and it being problematic. Oh, but their window closes games into their season. Then why not just make it universal for every league? Right, your transfer window opens right at the end of the season. None of this waiting a month. It opens right at the end of the season or a week after the season's finished. And then the Friday before the season starts or the Wednesday before the season starts, it's done. And leave it as that. And that's your one window to sign players. That's where I would see it. That's where I would see it anyway.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't disagree with you. The only part where for me there is a slight disagreement is January, right? And the reason why I disagree about January is just because when you look at, especially the teams in the relegation spots around about that time, right? The signings that are made then literally make or break the season.
Yeah, but then it's one of them ones. If you don't get your business done right in the summer, then hey, you have to live with it.
Which is also true. And again, I'm not disputing the merit of that. But what I am saying is a January signing can be the difference, say, for example, between relegation and staying up, qualifying for Europe, not qualifying for Europe, winning the league and not winning the league. That's why they're so important.
But then, as said though, you should be making those signings in the summer. not going in and disjointing another team in the middle of the season. That would be my axe to grind with it.
And I do, as I say, it's not that I disagree with you. I do agree with you, but then let's play devil's advocate here just for a minute and say, right, so you're telling me that it's better to cherry pick, a decent team of, their best players at the end of the season after they've been so successful? I don't think so. As a matter of fact, that's probably far worse.
I'm just thinking in terms. I'm just thinking in terms of logistics and squads as well.
No, but then so am I, right? Because I'm saying that the teams that get pulled apart in the summer window, whether it's extended or not, right? Those teams are back to bare bones, and what you want them to rebuild over that short period of time? Come on.
Yeah, but it's on them.
Right. So if we look at the clubs that are generally known as,
you're paying a premium for anyone you're getting in anyway. So it's almost as difficult to rebuild in January, and even then, that window's shorter.
Perhaps, but I mean, if we look at clubs that have historically, been cherry picked for their best talent on a regular basis, right? So I'd use someone like Udinese from Italy, right, where for several years, their best players just get plucked out. Right? Apart from Antonio Di Natale, who was the only one that probably didn't leave, arguably could have. And I suppose if, the offer was absolutely redonkulous, would have left. Right? So in your scenario, every single summer, irrespective of how successful they are, their best players get cherry-picked and they're supposed to rebuild in the same period of time by cherry-picking another good talent from someone else,
but then
then have it done to them again the following summer.
But that's the way the transfer windows are working anyway. If anything, it's probably worse, especially because because the summer window continues into the season. So you can unsettle someone, and then that other team's got to live with them till at least January. That would be where I would look at it. So, I mean, you know what? Yeah. I mean, Ryan Sonley, you wanted to jump in. You wanted to jump in on these issues as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I think the transfer windows. The summer one should be from the end of the after the Champions League game, because that's actually the final game of the really correct season, till the start of the new season. And then obviously the January one I think should be scrapped, because obviously having players move from left to right, or from Spain to England, they ain't going to have time to gel with their new teammates. They're going to just be jumped in and at the deep end. It's not always the best way to deal with a player who's new to that game. Because I mean, there's players out there that like the slow tempo games, where in Italy it's pretty slow, where in England it's pretty fast. So it's going to be pretty hard for them. So if they gelled in pre-season and that, then it would make their confidence get better.
But you know what? It is one of them ones where, I mean, of course, the whole transfer window thing is going to be kind of very much a divisive issue, and it's not going to stop. But as I said, I reckon it's one of them ones. End of the season, start of the season, done. January kind of messes. I said it messes teams up halfway through the season. And you've also got to bear in mind though that Jesse, first of all, I'll take on board your point. Just want to reference your point about for relegation threatened teams, it could make the difference. That's why there's the emergency loan system. So there is that. So maybe it's one of them ones where you keep the loan window open throughout the season. Maybe that's a way of getting around it. So I don't know. That might be a way. That might be a way of kind of getting around this whole thing of extortion of transfer fees, because you just take someone on a 6-month loan or on an emergency loan if you get ratification from the league for it. So maybe again, just playing devil's advocate with an idea that I'm thinking of. But All right, it's one of them ones. At the end of the day, we're here to bring out solutions. We're here to bring out solutions. But you know what? Speaking of solutions, it is one of them ones where it is about that time for us to just take a quick little pause for the cause. And you know what? We will see you. We got the grassroots segment still coming up as well. So we will see everyone in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Russ.
The G-Man.
Samira Sonley, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Caron.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Your Monday night footballing fix, Pitch Talk, is brought to you by and in association with
Talking Pie, a local podcast made by the fans for the fans of Notts County FC, hosted by Adam and Thomas Hewitt.
Simply Exclusive Entertainment. If you need a party or rave film, go to sxemedia.com for more information.
Apparently Rich. Simple yet effective web solutions to help get your company off the ground. Visit apparentlyrich.com for more information. And LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video. If you need a video filmed and or edited, check out ljaproductions.co.uk. LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video, offering video production services such as video editing, video encoding for the web, including YouTube and Vimeo, audio recording, filming of interviews, promos, live events, and much more. Get in touch at www.ljaproductions.co.uk or twitter.com/LJA Productions and let the new blood in digital video promote you. Pitch Talk is brought to you by and in association with
the one-stop shop for all your coaching needs, Motivate Sports and Fitness. Check out motivatesportsandfitness.com for more information.
The new football culture magazine, Thin White Line. Check out thinwhitelinemagazine.com for more information.
Storm FM with new hot releases played daily. Feel the boom at stormfm.net.
Two girls with their Bonnie Scotty trying to cover as much women's football as they can. Girls on the Ball. Check out girlsontheball.com for more information.
Hello, I'm Rob Russ.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Caron.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
introduce the grassroots segment of Pitch Talk Club. Smegman, watch that one. Curveball right on those track one. But yeah, just in regards to one of the previous points about transfers and that, Mike Harniman has said Berahino should be allowed to play for the club again after the comments he made. I'd make him train with the kids. Again, it's kind of that whole burning bridges thing. It's like, if other clubs are sniffing around and they know that you've got a player that doesn't want to play for that club anymore, then it drives his price down. So you're kind of caught between the devil and the deep blue sea doing that. But it is one of them ones. But it is one of them ones where coming into grassroots segment, big shout outs to the 14SAL at 14SAL on Twitter and www.southernamateurleague.co.uk, and also big shout out to the AFA Amateur FA at Amateur FA on Twitter and www.amateur-fa.com. Also a big time shout outs to the Amateur Football Alliance's Youth Council as well, the AFA Youth Council. Of course, their chairperson is Mr. Deryll David, who was on the show with us earlier and is our latest Pitch Talk Meets guest. Now, recently, we did mention it a couple of weeks ago on our last show, Ibis FC and BB Eagles AFC have recently merged to form Ibis Eagles FC. Now, it's one of those ones where one of the interesting things about this is, of course, BB Eagles have their own kind of playing fields and that kind of thing. And obviously with the merger, it means that everything is going to be pulled. We're going to pull resources. Now, one of the kind of knock-on effects that had was basically we've actually now finished and left Dukes Meadow playing fields. Our last match this past Saturday, Saturday 5th of September 2015, was the last Ibis game, which was an inter-club friendly between Ibis FC and BB Eagles FC. That was the last game that we were going to play. You might have seen on the Pitch Talk Twitter a couple of photos from the match as well. And yeah, we thought we'd go down and kind of get a couple of interviews and really commemorate it as well. But you know what, we did get some views, and we did allude to it earlier on in the show, and also we've mentioned it on the social networks as well, that we do have some exclusive interview material from Alex Minchell, Jonathan Lees, who is the chairman of BB Eagles AFC, Alex Minchell, aka Minch, the vice chairman of Ibis, and also Ollie Wooding, the chairman of Ibis FC as well. And you know what, as I said, we on behalf of Ibis would like to say a big massive thank you to Old Meadonians. They've been great landlords over the years. They've really taken care of us, and you know what, it's one of them was a little bit of history. The last match at Dukes Meadow FC, I think Dukes Meadow playing fields, sharing with Old Meadonians, but it is the right time to move on to pastures new. But just have to say thank you to everybody, from Sandra and everyone behind the bar to Slipper and everyone else. It's one that was worth to say a big massive thank you. I mean, Old Meadonians have been nothing but helpful for us and to us over the years. So you know what, in regards to that, we did I mean, we asked, of course, we did interviews, and we asked, how did the interclub friendly and how did the day in general go? Because it was the end of an era. So, you know, we're just going to play you a couple of little sound bites. And this first one is from Alex Minchell, the vice chairman of Ibis Football Club. Then we're going to go into Jonathan Lees, and then into Mr. Ollie Woodin as well with some of his thoughts.
How has the day been for me as an intra-club friendly as our last day here? Well, a little bit of sadness. As I pulled my car up into the car park for the last time as a home team, I felt a little bit, it's quite a lot of history in the club, but it's also the dawn, I think, of something quite important for the club. I think it represents the first step forward in a few years in strengthening the club significantly. And I'm really looking forward to our new future with our new teammates from BB Eagles as Ibis Eagles AFC. So it's a momentous day, some sadness.
And now some comments from Mr. Jonathan Lees, aka the chairman of BB Eagles FC as well.
It's always awkward when we've got this kind of situation. We've got a lot of people to get to know very quickly. We've got to know a lot of the Ibis guys over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we've got to figure out what strengths and weaknesses there are, etc., etc. So today's been very, very successful in terms of getting us to a level of knowledge that we think we can probably pick a first team and a second team from next week, which on my game was the most important side. I know the 3s, the 4s and the 5s were looking at a game as well. So hopefully people are getting to know each other, which is the most important aspect of today.
And of course, last but by no means least, just some musings as well on how the day went, and obviously looking forward from Ollie Woodin as well, the chairman of Ibis.
Yeah, the day-to-day has been great. It's the probably 4th time we've had some sort of game integrated with BB Eagles. Just really good to get more pre-season games under our belt, integrate the players, and just kind of see how many players we got, look at the quality, who's going to play in what team. But yeah, gone very well. It all started off about a month ago when we played BB Eagles in a friendly back in August. But yeah, it's going well. Everyone's looking really forward to the new season, and I think it's a great close match of both clubs joining together, and the culture of both is very aligned.
It's one of them ones. So we thought we'd give you that. We're so kind. We thought we'd give you that as a little bit of an exclusive. But yeah, we did film a lot. We did film a lot more in terms of interview material. But the fact of the matter is, we are in the process of actually rekindling a bit of documentary filming that we actually started a few years ago with the Ibis 4s. So it is one of them was in their last season. But yeah, I mean, on a personal note, I've not spoken to anyone who's not looking forward to the merger, because at the end of the day, it's competition for places. As sad as it is to be leaving Dukes Meadow, from what I know, the facilities at BB Eagles are better. So it's a move. It's a step in the right direction. And of course, in grassroots football, I mean, we all know the hardships. I mean, both clubs were at risk of not being able to field 2-3 teams. And then the more you go where you can't field 2 teams, then it goes down to 1. Then sometimes it just goes out of existence. So you know what? This merger coming up between BB Eagles and Ibis FC, it is going to strengthen both sides. So I'm just glad that it seems like everybody is literally on board with it, and I can't wait to get the season started. Big thank you to the Southern Amateur League, the 14 SAL as well, especially as they've given us basically an extra week to get ready. So it is one of them ones. It is one of them ones. I said I'm happy that both clubs are going to get to continue, because that's the most important thing in grassroots football. Everybody having somewhere to play on a Saturday, and everyone enjoying their football without having to worry about, oh, is this club even going to be here next season, and not having that kind of sword of Damocles, as it were, above your head. So, hey, from day one, I've been in favour of the merger. So it's one of them. I'm very happy with it, because it's just nothing but a positive. Nothing but a positive. Big shout out actually to Big T, aka at Original T44 on Twitter. A big shout out to the Pitch Talk family at SSLJ, the G-Man, and also Jazzy Fizzle as well, whom I have tons of love for. We'll be back when I'm 100%. Big T, we always got to throw them T's up from the PT family. We're throwing them T's up, daddy. Throwing them T's up. It is one of them ones. But you know what? But also a big shout out to Stevenage Ladies FC Stevenage FC Ladies first team. They were in FA Cup action away to Hoddesdon and ran out 5-3 winners, and the reserves drew 4 each. So big shout out and thank you to Mike Harniman for that. And Russ Vernon has sent as well. Parkgate FC, aka the Steelmen. They're based at Roundwood Pavilion, Green Lane, Rotherham, South Yorkshire, S626LA. Their telephone number is 07527 525 209. Facebook.com/ParkGatesFC and at ParkGateFC on Twitter. Their website is www.pitchhero.com/clubs/ParkGateFC. They actually did have a league game on the 2nd of September 2015. It was Parkgate 2, Pontefract Collieries 2. Sam Ford scoring on 26 and 32. Liam Radford on 8 minutes and Aaron Moxon on 63 minutes. The attendance was 89 and half-time was 2-1. The FA Vase first round qualifying from the 5th of September 2015. Rochdale Town 6-5 against Parkgate after extra time. Alec Dibley on 37 minutes. Ryan Johnson on 1 and 6 minutes for Parkgate. Oliver Graham on 10 and the 89th minute penalty for Parkgate. Christian Evans on 47 minutes. Johnny Johnson scoring on 61 and 62 minutes. Scott Whittington scoring on 24 minutes. And Lance Oganyode scoring on 68 minutes. And Thomas Rigby scoring on 112 minutes. Half time, Parkgate were 4-1 up. And it was 5-5 after 90 minutes. The attendance was 52 for that one. Sounds like a tremendous game right there. Sounds like a fantastic game, gotta say. Here's one of them. But big thank yous to Russ Vernon and Mike Harniman for dropping us that information on Parkgate and Stevenage ladies as well. Big time shout outs. But you know what? It is time for us once again to move and groove segments, and where we are gonna go next, we are gonna go into a couple of
What's up with that?
Yeah, PT Live is still live, daddy. Still live as live can be. And where we are going next is I love this stuff. Oh Lord, Faustino Espria, a drunken mate and a lost show horse. Faustino Espria, a £44,000 show horse and a drunken mate might sound like the start of a joke, but it was anything but to the former Newcastle striker. Espria, who is also a former Columbia international, lent the horse named Lucas to a friend. This from August 3rd, 2015. Lucas went missing on July 17th. So desperate was the 45-year-old ex-Magpie to be reunited with him that he offered a £1,090 reward for information leading to the horse's return. Valdi Quaco Regional Police Chief Fernando Murillo told Bogota Daily El Spectator that Lucas was eventually found in a stable in the town of Florida. Now, it had been left there by some people who we are now seeking, said Maria. What really happened was that Tino lent the horse to a friend who, in a drunken state, had given it away to two young men. Espria, who became a cult hero at Newcastle during a spell with them between 96 and 98, had lent his friend the horse so he could ride it at the fair, which was attended by 2,500 people. I don't know what's more crazy. Espria having a show horse or him lending it out to a drunken friend. And then the friend giving it away. That's the maddest thing. The friend gave away his horse. I'm baffled. I am baffled. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, Skypers, you jumping in on this? Because I am at a complete loss for words. That is nuts. Yeah. Words fail me right now. Words fail me. By the way, big shout out to Gianluca Lea, who's just joined us on Skype. You know what? Another somewhat random story. Another somewhat random one. 1860 Munich fans face Bayern Munich shopping trip or jail. This is one of them stories that you think to yourself, is football really life goes about? I wanted to show that football is football and not a battlefield. These are the words of Judge Karen Young, who gave two 1860 Munich fans the choice to buy Bayern Munich merchandise for a fan they attacked, or spend 15 months in jail. The defendants, who refused to name a third person involved when they ripped the jacket, shirt and straw hat off the Bayern fan last year, opted for the pride-swallowing trip to the rival club store. Probably a smart move. I thought about what would be really painful to them, and doing something like this really bothers this type of people. Young, who got the victim's consent for the quirky sentence, told Bild newspaper, this was no cheap shopping trip though, as according to their lawyer, the accused parted with around £350 each in compensation, as well as handing over a Bayern hat, scarf and jersey in court. I love that. As a punishment, I think that's pretty unique. I actually think that's a really unique punishment. And you know, if it was me, paying 350 quid in compensation and handing over a Bayern hat, scarf and jersey in court, if I was an 1860 Munich fan, I would take that. I would take that every day of the week, because there ain't no way I'm going to jail and having a criminal record. So hey, it's one of them ones. 350 quid. I could live with that. Because no one's got to know. All right, I might go viral, but no one's really got to know why. It's one of them ones. I'm going for that. I mean, if any of the Skypers want to jump in on this story, let us know. But here's a case of I would legitimately take that one. Take that hit. But it's one of them ones. There's always an odd story out there. Similar to Busquets saying net football's better than sex. So, well, okay, it's your opinion. I was entitled to it. Oh well. Yeah. Oh well. But it is one of them ones where, you know what? We're hitting the home straight of the show. We are hitting the home straight. So where we are going. And by the way, big shout out to Jesse Fizzle, who had to jump off a little early. Busy days, life getting in the way. But you know what? It is one of them ones where it is time for the final segment of the show, which is a little bit of this and a little bit of.
Stuff of the week.
Yeah.
Standing there over by the store, wishing that I know. I'm wishing that I know. I see you standing there over by the door, and you're wishing that I know. And I'm wishing that you know. Yeah. Appetite.
Cause it's Monday night. let's move and groove into stuff of the week. Let's go for goal of the week first. And for me, goal of the week, it is actually a toss-up between Valbuena's free kick for France against Portugal. But because it was a friendly, I'm not going to give it to that. I'm actually not going to give it to that. I am going to give it to Guttridge of Luton Town versus Cambridge United. That lob was tremendous. Guttridge of Luton Town, that is my goal of the week. That lob was superb. Superb. Kieran Riley, who's getting your goal of the week?
Well, I doubt this penalty should have been allowed, but it's Wayne Rooney's penalty which equalised it up with the Bobby Charlton, the all-time goal scorer for England.
No, I heard that. We did have a little discussion about Rooney's thing earlier, but I heard that. Brad Hicks has gone Noel Hunt with an honourable mention to Luke Guttridge. Well, that was two good picks there. Mike Harniman, who are you going for goal of the week?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you actually and give it to Luke Guttridge for that goal against his former team, Cambridge, as well. It was obviously that was a great finish against his former side, where he was Cambridge captain, went back there, and to score a goal like that was great, to be honest. So Luke Guttridge gets my goal of the week this week.
I hear that. Ryan Sonley, who are you going for goal of the week?
Honourable mention to Carl McHugh and to Jake Jarvis. But my goal of the week is someone that I'm actually not going to be able to actually have to say, because it's an Exeter City player in Alex Nichols for his goal against Portsmouth.
Oh, good shot.
Team, you want to call them, because it was a youth team, but it was there against Portsmouth in the JPT, where he ran down the right and swerved the ball in the far post.
Not fair, dudes. Fair shout. Very, very fair shout. Let's go for Russ Vernon, goal of the week.
Honourable mention to Luke Guttridge, Liam, but for me, is Sam Cum for Wellingborough United. Killed it in from the edge of the box with 3 minutes to go to level the scores for Wellingborough United in a 1-1 draw then in the Vanarama National League against Tranmere Rovers on Saturday. Fantastic finish.
Great shout, great shout. Gianluca, Mr. Gianluca Leo, welcome to the show, and also congratulations on the Sky Sports Italian news as well. Who's your goal of the week this week?
Mine, of course, will be Michael Mills' stunning goal yesterday. It was a good run by Fionk from the flank, then he crossed back outside the box. Great control by Mills, and then he blasted a great shot. It was his first goal since 2 years ago, I think, and it was his 40th for his country, which is a great achievement for a Maltese player.
Great shout. That is actually a fantastic shout. Love that. Let's go for player of the week. Player of the week. Deryll David gets my main one for being on the representatives, for getting onto the representatives of the RAFA for 2015-16. And in terms of on the pitch, Didier Drogba, perfect hat trick in the MLS, and I think it was his first goal. The first touch was just tremendous. So I'm gonna go Didier Drogba this week. Honourable mention to Gareth Bale for that header, but I'm gonna go Didier Drogba as my player of the week. Ryan Sonley, who you going for?
Off the pitch, honourable mention to Gianluca Leo for his involvement in getting through to doing the Sky Sports Italia. But my player of the week on the pitch is actually a player that played well for Exeter over the weekend, is actually Tom Nichols.
Good shout. Good shout. Brad Hicks has said Kemar Roof as his player of the week. Russ Vernon, player of the week.
I'm going to give an honourable mention to the players on the pitch, like John Walters for his goal tonight and Carl Lafferty for his goal for Northern Ireland. But for me, he's going to go off the pitch and he's going to go a joint one to Deryll David and Gianluca Leah. Congratulations, guys. Well deserved.
Nah, good shouts. Very, very good shouts. Kieran Riley, who are you going for player of the week?
Mine's got to go to Wolves goalkeeper Carlisle keeping a clean sheet on his debut game in goal for Nigeria against Tanzania the other day.
Great shouts, great shouts. Brad Hicks has also said honourable mention to my man Luca as well. Luca, who are you going for as your player of the week?
Well, actually, I do not have a particular one. Maybe the player who scored for Luxembourg last Friday, because I was watching the match and he played very well. He doesn't have a lot of technique, but he played very well, and then he scored in 90th minute. So I think he deserves to be the man of the week.
Fair dues. Totally fair. Totally fair. I love it. Let's go for Mike Harniman. Have you got a player of the week?
It's quite difficult, really, at the moment. I think I'm going to give honourable mentions to Gianluca and, of course, to Deryll David as well. But my player of the week goes to, well, I'm going to give it to the guy who's literally one letter away from being my name for scoring 2 goals for Wickham from right back. So I've got to give it to Harriman, haven't I, really?
Yeah. You know what? When we were reading out the results, I almost read it as Harniman. It's like, wait, hold on, what? M. Harniman? What? It was close. Nah, that's a cool one. I quite like that. Let's go for team of the week. Team of the week. Russ Vernon, who are you going for? Team of the week.
For me, Liam, honourable mention to Northern Ireland for their performance tonight. But for me, it's going to be to Wales. Yes, they didn't get the win that they wanted yesterday, but the performance, they played absolutely brilliant. And they played well on Thursday as well to get the win. And they're on the verge of joining England at Euro 2016 in Czech Republic and Iceland as well. Iceland, we'll mention, for their draw yesterday with Kazakhstan 0-0, and they got to the Euro 2016. So great achievement for them, and great achievement for former Rotherham United man Kieran Riley, who's going to be at the Euros next summer. Big one of the defenders to look out for if you're coming up against Iceland. Cracking long throw as well. He's got Liam, so make sure he takes the throws, make sure you've got everyone picking up a man in the box. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Nah, good shout. Team of the week, Brad Hicks has said, just for Luca, Malta, with an honourable mention to England and Iceland. Good shouts. Let's go. Ryan Sonley, who are you going for? Team of the week.
I'm going to hate to say this again, but an honourable mention to Exeter City for beating the team that had a 100% record in the Football League, Leyton Orient, 4-0. And my other honourable mention is to Stevenage for actually doing what they deserve. They deserve the 2-1 win. And I'm going to give my team of the week to Iceland for qualifying for their first Euro tournament.
Good shout. Very, very good shout. Kieran Riley, team of the week.
I want to mention to Republic of Ireland, lovely boys. But team of the week this week is England for their 6-0 win over San Marino.
Fair dues. Let's go. Gianluca, who are you going for? Team of the week.
I will take Iceland for sure, I think, because it's an amazing achievement. Having qualified for the first time, a small country, I think they proved they are a good squad, and they proved that even if you are small, you can do it with the elite of football.
Nah, good shout. Very, very good shout. Who hasn't given their team of the week? I'm sure almost everyone has. I thought there was someone. Mike Harniman, team of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to be different. You've all given it to international side, so I'm going to give it to a club side. I'm going to give it to Blackpool for their first victory away from home in 17 months as well, which they got on Saturday. So Blackpool get my team of the week.
It's a fantastic shout. That actually is a fantastic shout. My team of the week, Old Meadonians. I'm going to go Old Meadonians. They've been in terms of Ibis, they've been our landlords for the past 6-7 years. They've been great. They've been great to us. They've always helped. They've always been very, very helpful. And yeah, I'm going to give it to Old Meadonians, our now former landlords, because we had our last match at Dukes Meadow playing fields over the weekend. So yeah, Old Meadonians get mine. From Old Meadonians from the amateur football combination. So yeah, gotta give it to everyone at Old Meadonians. Flop of the week. Oh lordy, flop of the week. There's a temptation to say Peterborough, but I'm going to say the Netherlands. The Netherlands are my flop of the week. They have been awful this week. So, Netherlands flop of the week. Ryan Sonley, who are you going for flop of the week?
Honourable mention to Leyton Orient for losing their 100% record. And the other flop of the week is the team that is Wood. No,
wait, Ryan, you're breaking up quite a bit. You might want to repeat that.
My honourable mention for flop of the week is Leyton Orient for losing their 100% record, and my flop of the week this week goes to the team that Blackpool lost. Blackpool lost. Well, the team that Blackpool won against. Sorry.
Fair dues. Russ Vernon, flop of the week.
I'm going to give it to Chesterfield. There was 2-0 up against Wigan Athletic, and Wigan came back and won 3-2 with 3 goals in the last 10 minutes, 10 minutes, I think it was. And so Chesterfield get my flop of the week with an honourable mention to Holland as well, Liam. Or the Netherlands.
Good shout. Good shout. Let's go for Gianluca. Who are you going for? Flop of the week.
Without any doubts, Croatia. They played very bad against Norway and they lost 2-0. And they are now in the 3rd place, risking the chance of qualifying through the playoffs. So they will come to Malta next month. So we can eliminate them from the top 2.
Yeah. Great shout. It's one that was Brad Hicks has said, where has Brad gone? Aaron Martin with an honourable mention to James Linnington, the referee at Bristol Rovers versus Oxford. Mike Harniman, who are you going for flop of the week?
Yeah, I want to give an honourable mention to Peterborough for obviously their sacking of the manager at the weekend. But my flop of the week actually goes to Daniel De Rossi for his red card in the Italy game. I thought that was a very needless foul. And the way he just sort of kicked out at the opposition player as well, I thought that was a nasty challenge, yeah.
No, fair dues. Totally fair dues. It is one of them was totally fair dues. And Kieran Riley, who are you going for? Flop of the week.
I will mention to San Marino for unfortunately losing again. My flopper is Leeds United. Nah, joking, it's Holland.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, yeah. You know what? Hey, it is one of them. It is one of them ones where it's like, yeah, I think Holland. I think Holland definitely deserve it in my opinion. But it is one of them ones. That was funny about these. But no, it is one of them ones where we are hit. We're literally done. We're literally done. It is one of them ones where, you know what, it has been Mendoza. It's an interesting one for Mike Harniman, an honourable mention for the team that hasn't been mentioned alongside Blackpool, Palmer. But Palmer showed that bounce back ability. So I wouldn't put them in flop. A kind of a phoenix rising from the ashes. Oh, for team of the week. Okay, cool. Yeah, that would have been a good one. That would have been a good one. I think Russ is getting fuming at the Leeds mention. I love it. But you know what? It is one of them ones where we've gone through a lot on tonight's show, but it is time to start saying.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The
football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Russ. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samir Sonley, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions. Because the pitch is where we eat, the pitch is where we sleep, and of course the pitch is where we talk. I have been straight shooting LJ on behalf of myself, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle. We say a big shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. We went through a lot. Talked about the transfer windows, talked about Ibis FC and BB Eagles as well. We went through so much. Big time shout outs though, big time shout outs to everybody who joined us tonight. But you know what, it is one of them. www.pitch-talk.com is the official website. Find out about everything Pitch Talk on our website, www.pitch-talk.com. Also, it's the Ibis Eagles. Yeah, it's the Ibis Eagles. Let's get that one right. But no, it is one of them was where Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a friend, become member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to the blogs. Blogs by yours truly, Straight Shooting LJA, the G-Man, Jazzy Fizzle, and many, many more, including Dave Mear, aka at Mearcy's Electricity League roundups, and word of a ref as well. His blogs. Also big time shout outs to youtube.com/Pitch Talk as well. That's where you can find all the videos, including Pitch Talk at the Women's FA Cup Final 2015. Also Pitch Talk on the road at Hackney Wick FC. Also you can find there, well, it's one of them was we're editing it, and that's where it will end up. youtube.com/Pitch Talk is where Pitch Talk meets Deryll David will end up once we have done with the post-production on it. Also, it's one of them ones. At Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. Also, 07535804466 is the mobile number. Call us, text us, let us know your views. If you're texting in, leave your name at the end of the text. Big shout out to Tom Wood who texted in earlier. Also, Pitch Talk live on Google+. We are Pitch Talk 1 on Skype as well. It is one of them ones. Big time shout outs to all of the Skypers in the house tonight. We had Mr. Deryll David earlier of the Amateur FA's Youth Council, the chairperson at AFA Youth Council. Give them a follow on Twitter. Also Amateur FA at Amateur FA on Twitter. Give them a follow. Also at 14SAL. Give them a follow as well, the 14 Southern Amateur League. Big shout outs to Big T as well. Also big shout outs to the rest of the Skypers, Mike Harniman, Kieran Riley, and Luca Leah. Also big shout outs to Ryan Sonley, Russ Vernon, Brad Hicks, and many, many others as well. Big time shout outs. Also big time shout outs to at LFS_live, the London Football Show live as well. Kenny Ken and Yusuf as well. They'll be back with their London teams roundup soon. It is on levels. I said big shout outs to Ibis Football Club and BB Eagles at Ibis_football and at BB Eagles AFC on Twitter, aka now the Ibis Eagles AFC. It's one of them was big time shout outs to the Ibis Eagles and everyone there. Alex Minchell, Ollie Wooden, Jonathan Lease, and everybody else associated with both clubs. Big time shout outs. It is one of them ones where, oh my word, big shout outs to Finn White Line magazine as well. FinnWhiteLineMagazine.com, at Tweet White Line, on Facebook.com/Finn White Line magazine. Big shout outs to Ian Kerr for the roundup. the A-League roundup that he gave us earlier today. Also, big time shout outs to Jersey Fizzle and the G-Man, my other two co-hosts. Big time shout outs to everybody tuned in live via YouTube and also via iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and TuneIn Radio. People, we need your support. Give us some comments, give us some ratings. Hopefully give us 5 stars instead of -5 stars. It's one of them ones. It all helps us get noticed, and the more we get noticed, the more exposure we get. The more exposure we get, the more we can make Pitch Talk grow and deliver a better show for all of you. So, of course, iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and TuneIn Radio, and of course on YouTube as well. Spread the videos, spread the word, give us some comments, give us some ratings, let us know what you think as well, and of course share the links as well. You know what, it is one of them ones. Big shout outs to Girls on the Ball at Girls on the Ball on Twitter. If you want to know about women's football, check them out. Also Motivate Sports and Fitness at Motivate SF on Twitter as well. I have been Straight Shooting LJA, and on behalf of myself, the G-Man, and Jersey Fizzle, thank you very much. Good night.